Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of She is Speed. My name is Lana Ruse, and I will be your host for this fantastic evening where we have a couple incredible runs lined up for you today. So I'll be introducing those right away, but before we get started, here's a couple announcements. Frame Fatales will be having its next all-women speedrunning event, Flame Fatales, from August 21st to 27th. The marathon schedule is now out. Type !FF in Twitch chat or go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info. Prize submissions are also now open, and check the site for more information. Also, if you check out @GamesDoneQuick on Instagram, you can get bite-sized clips from our Hotfix shows and see what happens at the events. It's pretty awesome, and I definitely recommend following us over there too. So first up for today, we have an incredible run lined up for you that you are absolutely going to love. I promise. I love it. So we have Carrarium here who will be showing off Celeste Benny %. So why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a bit about it, and let's get into it.
Hello, I am Carrarium. I am a Celeste speedrunner. I play a large variety of Celeste categories. And today I am going to be running Benny %. Which is a really fun category. Benny % is a recent addition to our main game leaderboards over in the Celeste community. The goal of the game is to reach the prologue. That would be a really quick run. That's 30 seconds. It's to reach the epilogue of the game without beating any of the game's A-sides. If you've seen any Celeste speedruns, often what happens is the game's B-side can still unlock progress, even if you haven't beaten the A-side. So we're going to take full advantage of that and basically show another way of beating the core story of the game without really going through any of the core's main story. So it's very fun. You'll see a lot of really hard but difficult screens, and it's going to be really cool. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. Do you want to count us in?
I would love to. Alrighty.
All right, let's do it.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so we start off in prologue, and in prologue, we don't have our main mechanic, which is the dash. So right now I can only climb and jump, and I'm gonna use both as often as possible. The main thing you're gonna see me do is a lot of bunny hops, and every bunny hop saves 2 frames over walking. So across this bridge, I'm just gonna be doing all these little hops. And then right around here, there's a cutscene skip that you save talking to the bird, which teaches you how to dash. All right, and with that, we already move into Forsaken City. So basically, in every single level, what's going to happen is I'm going to go in, I'm going to grab the level's cassette, and I'm going to get out and beat the B-side instead. So City's a really short one. It's about 50 seconds long. I'm going to utilize a lot of versions of extended dash jumps, both vertically and horizontally. They're called supers, hypers, or wall bounces, depending on their application. So vertically are wall bounces. That was in a reverse hyper, which is a down left or down right dash jump. Whereas a super is a left or right dash jump. Whoop. And right here, we're actually coming really close to the cassette already. The fun thing about these little zip movers is that you can preserve the momentum that you get from them. So right here, I'm going to take a lot of the momentum from that zip mover to get up here. And then with a quick bunny hop, just going to grab the right side of that zip mover and collect the cassette, and we're done.
It's so speedy.
It's so speedy. So we return to map because that's the only way to get to the B-side. And B-sides are shorter but harder variations of the level's A-side. So you immediately see that a big thing is there's a lot more spikes. But that's okay. Spikes are not as scary as they seem, and we're going to see more about that later. Squeeze between these 2 zip movers and wall bounce up here. And then I'm going to grab the right side of this zip mover, because what's going to happen is we're going to grab the right side of that zip mover and get to the end of the room. And right here is one of the harder tricks in this level. Boom, got that. Love that. Love that for me.
We don't even have to think about it. It just happens. Easy.
Just did it. There's no. It's not that there's no setup for that trick. It's just that I kind of have to YOLO it. You just kind of know. So the reason that that worked is that there's actually like a small amount of space between the spikes and the wall, almost about a pixel or so. So I was just able to grab that one little spot and get over it, and it saved going all the way over on the left side. Here I'm trying my best not to get momentum from these zip movers. Get me through the room fast, and a really fun trick coming up here. First I'm just gonna do this, and if I get this right, whoop! I just get a lot of boosted speed from the zip mover that's going upwards, and I just kind of squish under the wall and just get all the way to my destination without really needing to think about it.
I love that in a lot of this run, honestly, spikes are just a suggestion.
They really are. There's going to be a lot of suggesting on the spikes part, and I'm not going to pay attention to them. Fun fact, I've been playing a lot of Benny% today to practice for this, and I could not get a 1-3x city, like almost at all. And then I go on GDQ and I get a 1-3x city immediately. So
Woohoo!
heck yeah. Woohoo! So yeah, really, really fun category. This used to be a category extension in the Celeste speedrunning community, but we had a vote because it was still fairly run amongst people, and it had a very similar objective that basically vibed with essentially any percent anyway. So we voted as verifiers to actually put this run on our main leaderboards. And we actually have a tournament coming up for the Benny% battle. So it's gotten a lot of attention recently. So good timing having me on for this.
It's perfect. So we know that, honestly, the soundtrack of Benny% is one of the big draws of it. What would you also say are some of the main things about Benny% that might be different from any percent that you love?
Just the ability to play so many levels that you wouldn't normally see in any percent. Basically, you get almost like 5 new levels that you just don't play otherwise. Like 2B is actually fairly optimal in some categories, but you don't see it too often in many areas. So a big thing is, yeah, the music, but also you get to play a lot of different levels. You get a more, and honestly, Benny%, because of the way in which you kind of go from the A side to just then immediately playing the B side can be really useful when we do things like Celeste Lockout Bingo, which is a common thing in the Celeste community. So it really helps with routing on the fly. This level teaches you to do dream jumps. There's actually a few frames of leniency when you leave these dream blocks, which preserve your dash when you leave, and also you go in one cardinal direction upon entering it. But a fun thing is Celeste also has a pretty lenient buffer window, so you can do double jumps out of these. Here's a fun trick. Yeah! So using a diagonal crouch dash, where I make Madeline's hitbox 4 pixels high instead of 8 pixels high, I was able to go over that block and then do a corner kick to the end of the room without having to activate any of the touch switches that are in that room. And it saves a lot of time. All right. We have a really cool skip coming up after this room. It's called Based Alter Skip. The room wants me to activate a lot of touch switches, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do this instead. And the room's over. I hope you enjoyed that room, because it's gone now.
That was beautiful.
That's 2 seconds off of my ILPB, by the way.
See, you're killing these levels already.
So the reason why that particular strat works is because of the crouch dash. So when I do a crouch dash up left through that dream block, it just kind of squishes Madeline right under the ceiling. So she actually doesn't get hurt. And it also gives you just enough height to be able to do an upright crouch dash to the end of the room. And it saves so much time. For the longest time, I couldn't do that strat because I ran on the Nintendo Switch, which was a patch behind. And I couldn't do any crouch dashing unless to do it manually. And once I got the 1.4 patch, I was so happy. So this is the Celestial Resort level. This is a really fun level. We're going to see actually a fair amount of it. The cassette to this level is actually visible from the first checkpoint, but it's not accessible until the third. So a little bit of a what-if situation in the community of like what if we were able to get the cassette early and what that would mean for like any percent or other categories. Fun strat there. I get corner corrected under a wall and hit the spring, which gives me a faster cycle to get all those touch switches. It is really funny, and it is easier than some of the other strats that do the similar things. So the main mechanic behind this level are dust bunnies. Dust bunnies will go in cycles, and there are 2 cycles that they will always be on. One when you enter the room, and one if you die and respawn in the room. And there are different cycles for each. So a lot of the times you actually need to know what the death cycle is in a room just in case. Oops, I just lost all my speed. She is not speed.
I have so many words for dust bunnies, and very few of them are kind.
Yeah, that's fair. So that's what I mean by spikes are a suggestion. Spikes cannot hurt you if you're going in the same direction as them. So there, Madeline actually was kicking off the corner of the wall, and because she was going left through the spikes that were facing left, the spikes don't hurt her. So there's a couple instances throughout the game where we do stuff like that. And it looks like magic, and it is. You know what? I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna say that it's not. It is. It's magic. A little fun fact about this section, actually, is that, and I got this information from Maddie Thorson, is that this section was designed after Super Mario World Switch Palaces. So you know how in Super Mario World, you like hit the button and it makes those like yellow or green like exclamation point blocks show up throughout the land? The idea is the same here, except instead of giving you things, every section takes them away. And I think that's just beautiful.
That is so cool.
All right,
so, Carrie, I always love to ask as well, what got you into running this game? What was the big draw for it?
So, honestly, it was just fun. It felt fun to play. So I beat it casually in 2019, around September, October of 2019. And just because I had time in between waitressing shifts to mess around the house, I, out of curiosity, just started to try to speedrun, like a clueless speedrun, where I didn't really know what the fast strats were, but how fast can I beat the game? And it was really fun to do. Just like that room is really fun to do. And yeah, so I basically did a clueless speed run, and I got like a decent time. It was like like just under 2 hours, and I just went, uh-oh, I'm hooked. But I was always into speed running from like, I was like from afar big fan of like watching GDQ stuff. So I kind of watched from afar and was, lurker in a lot of channels. So when I tried one for Celeste, because it was the game I was most recently playing anyway, I was just like, oh, well, I guess I found my game. And the rest is history.
Amazing.
So that's another example of their...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, that was just another example of there being just enough space for me to do like a climb jump between the dust bunnies. 3B is very hard, but it's very fun. Oh, gosh. Well, that's a shame. Oh, I don't know how to do this on Death Cycle. I just never die here, so this is fun. We're going to figure this out together. Class.
All together now.
All together now. Okay, we got it. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say the big thing with Celeste, too, that I know I personally love is that this movement, it does look very, very complicated, but the game really eases you into it. Starting with the A sides, and then moving into B sides, and then going on from there. There's just so many cool tricks that the game itself teaches you as you go as well. So it's very accessible and very fun to learn and smooth feeling for every player, I feel.
Oh, yeah. No, this game has an extremely low barrier to entry. Like, it teaches you a lot of stuff in this game, like what wall bounces are and, a lot of other tech like hyper dashing and such. But like, there's a lot, the game is based on a lot of game feel. Like, that's a thing that Maddie and Noel Berry, like, made sure that this Celeste had that feel of, is that it was very lenient to the player. So a lot of, a lot of, like, the things like buffers and the zip mover, like, momentum storage and all that stuff is just to make the game feel good for somebody who's running it. And you can definitely feel that. So, like, so there's, like, not dust bunnies there. So you can just kind of go over them. That's always a really fun trick to show people. All right, let's see.
Oshiro was terrifying the first time I found him, and you just make him look pretty chill.
Yeah, this guy was not my favorite at the time.
He's so
am I good?
scary.
I'm good. I didn't get it. That's so sad. So there's a fun little demo there that would save 2.4 seconds, but it was just too slow that I couldn't get it. But the good thing is when you die, you can just do the old cycle that I used to do. So not too much lost. Okay. That's the nature of 3B. Couple of mistakes.
Just how it is.
That's just how the B-sides work. The B-sides, you just, like, they're harder. Some of the deaths are just a lot more punishing than the A-sides, which are just more explorative levels. Mm-hmm. B-sides really aren't explorative. They're inching ever closer to that Kaizo feel of, it's not necessarily there's only one solution to something, but there's only one way to get out, basically.
Yeah.
So this is Ridge. Ridge has wind mechanics and clouds and bubbles and all this fun stuff. Pink clouds go away when you land on them. White clouds stay. We have these platforms. This is a fun little trick called Archie. When I do a crouch dash into this bubble, the bubble actually goes up about a pixel. So I can actually do that upright to that first touch switch. Whereas if you don't do that, you would die. So it's just enough space. Oh, I did an up left. You can, there's a 2-frame trick underneath that block where you can do a demo right before the spikes. It's been happening a lot with I run on D-pad, so sometimes I get those little mistakes every once in a while, but it's okay. So now we enter what's possibly my favorite B-side, which is 4B. The music is super chill. And despite there being a lot of auto-scrollers, I really like the level design here. By the way, that demo that I did in room 2, that saves 5 seconds. And it's extremely easy to do. By doing a, by doing a hyper dash, by doing like a downright dash jump, an extended downright dash jump into that room, there's just a certain spot where I do the demo and I just make it underneath the platform. Oh, I got a nice little corner there. That's all right. You can get through the rest. So I'm gonna do a little dash off of that, kick off this wall right here, and skip all those bubbles. I actually found a visual cue in that room. There's a little branch that's coming out of the wall, and it's the perfect point at which to kick off of the wall to get through the rest of the room. My little contribution to the Celeste community for visual cues. Okay, so you can just wall bounce off the side of those blocks, and you can wall bounce off of that, skip going over. Uh-oh, I just looked at the time. This is good pace. I should not have done that. Okay, that's good. So okay, never mind. All right, this run is bad now. So you can actually skip most of these auto-scrollers. All you gotta do is just dangle from this one. You go right underneath the spinners, and then just jump to the end. You don't really need any of them. Okay, so here you just want to make sure that you're constantly moving this block. And I just wall bounce off here to move this block, because otherwise the block would go away. right, there is a really neat skip coming up. Hopefully I get it first try. But I'm gonna skip across that cloud, and the whole point behind this room is that you want to get to the end of that room while the wind's still facing right. Oh, that was my mistake. So right here, I'm trying to crouch underneath that wall so I could land on the left side of the cloud and get an extension. All right, so here's the skip. I'm not going to get any of these touch switches. I'm going to activate the wind, go back in this bubble, and just grab the wall, and I'm done. That is a very, very difficult trick. It involves me going neutral when I'm doing climb jumps, and is not easy. Nor is that strat easy.
You're just making it look easy, Carrie.
Oh gosh, am I ever? Okay, so that's 4B. So that was a fun little spot. I was doing like a what's called a demo hyper. It is a one of those down right or down left dash jumps, but used with the crouch button, the crouch dash button. When I do that, the crouch dash button actually gives me a little extra speed, and I was able to get through that room fairly quickly. I was very lucky on the entrance to the heart room. It's not required to do that for the fast strat. There's like a much safer strat. And if you don't get what I did, it's a pretty reasonable backup, but you know, you go for it, you YOLO it, and you get it. Now, this is more along the lines of the actual any percent run. Mirror Temple and Reflection B-sides are actually optimal in the any percent run, so this is more along the lines of what I'm used to when I'm running any percent. Let's see if we can get this. Oh, yeah, we got it. Okay.
Nice.
Nice. That trick is called Depth's Corner Boost. I'm essentially doing a corner boost, which is a climb jump off the top of the wall, basically. And oop, oop, oop. Okay. Could do that. Can't do this. Okay, we're good. And what it does is that speed gets me basically through the next room without having to use the swap blocks, which is one of the main mechanics in this level. And they move whenever you dash.
It is genuinely so fascinating that, especially just even in any percent, that it's just faster to do B-side than it is to just do the regular A-side. I find that so interesting.
So in the early days of the community, and the devs are still quite active with a lot of creators and conversations, but when it was first discovered that you could do that, Maddie and a lot of the developers were just like, oh, well, that's cool. We're not going to do anything about that. So it wasn't originally intended. It was a developer oversight, but they kept it. And it actually worked out in our favor. Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my God. So that is a strat called Bub's Drop, named after the former Celeste speedrunner Bub-I. That is a 2-frame trick where I am trying to kick off of the wall. And what happens is if I get it right, Madeline does not get enough height to land on the one-way platform that's in that room, and she falls back to the previous room. When she does that, the game doesn't anticipate me to come back to that room from that direction, so it respawns me upon death at the end of the room, which is what we need for progress anyway, and that saves about 20 seconds over going around and getting a key. Very difficult strat, especially if you don't pause buffer it, which I didn't. Sad.
But naturally, you nailed it first try.
Naturally. I'm very used to. I have 4,000 hours of practice in this game, and so a lot of the times I kind of think, well, I better get Bub's Drop without pausing, but sometimes it's just not meant to be that day. 2 frames is not as much as is even less than it sounds. All right, say hello to Theo. Theo is a good friend.
Theo.
Theo is the worst friend you could ever have. He is stuck in a crystal, so we have to carry him around here. Do I have enough speed for this? I do. All these gold door... I never doubted in my life. I never doubted at any point. The gold doors that are at the end of these rooms are can only be opened if you have Theo and a crystal, so you can't just ignore them. You have to take them through all these rooms. This room is impossible, but we got through it anyway.
I love how the text barely even showed up.
Yep.
This is impossible. Just kidding.
Just kidding. All right, and that is 5B. Pretty decent on my part. Not that bad. You can do some fun movement tech with Theo. You can do ultras. You can do a lot of fun tech with him. You can throw him against a wall and get a little bit of extra height by dashing up into him and everything. But very, very complex movement overall, just because of how the Seekers in that level are almost essentially RNG. They just aggro you from almost any angle. This strat
in my opinion, they're one of the most aggravating. Oh, are we picking a number?
Oh, yes. 1 or 2.
Let's go 2 to be spicy.
Oh, let's go. All right, I like it.
Okay.
Chad has no idea what we're talking about, but I you know what? All right, we're gonna do a little strat for the cassette skip, and we're gonna see if we get it. So the cassette is right over here on this left side. It's a big reason why 6B is so optimal. Oh, nope. Nope, sir. That works. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So that strat is called Revo's Nonsense. That is a hard one to explain, but there's a lot of time here in 6B to explain what just happened. So these crush blocks, which we call Kevin blocks in the community, they'll give you a bit of a multiplicative boost if you're moving on them while they're moving. So I did a reverse super, so that was a reverse left or right dash jump. And right about as that wall was breaking, I did a down left. And what that did was that gave me the perfect height to do what's called an ultra. Think of an ultra as a faster wave dash. It's way too complicated to go over here now. But the ultra is going to give me more speed. But the speed's only preserved if I jump at the right moment when I land into the next room. If I do that, I have a lot of speed preserved, and I can do another wave dash off one of the blocks. And with that, I just basically go through the next room in about 3 seconds, when trying to get through that room without it is almost 3 times that. It's a bit of a wild strat. And that's why I asked Lana to give me 1 or 2, because the other option was going to be a strat called Scott Sensibility, which is a bit more sensible of a strat than that. But, you know, gotta give the people what they want. All right, so this is a falling section of 6B. This was supposed to be in the original A side, but beta testing determined this area was really hard, so it got moved to the B side. Just a lot of falling. I utilized what's called a fast fall button, where, as you see, Madeline gets kind of long. And it's just a gameplay button dedicated to down. So if I'm holding my L1 button on my DS4, and it just makes Madeline go down very fast. And it's super useful in some of these. Hello, you want to leave that room? Thank you.
I have to also say this is my favorite B-side music right here.
I am the exact opposite. It's my least favorite.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
It is a good song. I don't think it captures the vibe of the level personally.
Very fair.
But it's just so different from all the other songs that it kind of sticks out to me. But it's a good song. Objectively, I think it's a great song. It's just that when you have a soundtrack like Celeste, something's got to be your least favorite, and for me, it's this one.
Absolutely. I'll accept it. My soul is only a little bit crushed, but I'll accept it.
I understand. I get it. Some people in chat have noticed, yes, I did a funny demo. I did a crouch dash through some spikes in the last falling room. That is a 2-frame window. And it's really hard to get a setup for it because essentially what happens is you're falling. So you could pause buffer it, but there's no great visual cue to go about it. And you could still die if you get through it, if you're too far to the right. This is Battlein. She's a part of you in the game. She is trying to attack you, and you're just trying to give her a little hug. Now, this section's called Reprieve. It's a fun little checkpoint. It's, in my opinion, one of the most strat-dense chapters or checkpoints in the entire game. Right here, I'm going to try to get a lot of speed off of that block, and I get it. And I'm going to use these bumpers to get a little boost. Yeet myself into Battlein. All of these touch switches, completely ignorable if you just do a crouch dash underneath that block and corner kick at the end of it. Whew. This game's tiring. Did you know that?
It takes a bit of energy, hey?
Just a little bit.
A tiny bit.
All right, this room is really long with feather gameplay and these crush blocks and Battlein shooting at you, and there's also bumpers. But there's a pretty reasonable cycle here. Okay, cool. Ooh, okay. Word. Okay, let's go. Awesome. So that last room is called, is a strat called Nero Cycle, named after Nero, a former Celeste speedrunner. It's magic. I don't know how to explain it. It just works. It's just a great cycle that you kind of get like a little corner boost off of the block that's disappearing, and the rest just works. All right, so we are on to Summit. Summit is the final level in the any percent route, so it is also the final level in the Benny percent route. We're gonna go through a couple remixes of some chapters. It's a remix of every chapter that we've gone through so far. Then we're gonna get the cassette and play my favorite chapter in the game, 7B. It's great.
Honestly, Summit is just such a beautifully designed level. Everything about it is just so wonderful.
It was brilliant. When I played this for the first time, I loved everything about it. The 2 dashes and how that like changed all the gameplay and all of the level design, and everything felt so different. It was almost like starting over an entirely new game, which like in a sense, storyline, it almost is. Like you're basically climbing the mountain again. You just have more confidence in yourself. It's so great.
So now that we've seen all the levels, Carrie, what would you say is your favorite out of all of them?
So favorite is probably 7B. I really like the B-side to Chapter 7. I do think Farewell is also up there in contention. That level broke me when I first tried to play it, but I've grown to really love all aspects of it. I'm also a big fan of 4B, and there's a lot of other levels that I'm kind of fond of. The more that I like get into running a lot of the different levels that are in the game, like Mirror Temple and Resort and stuff of that nature, I find something to love about all of them. But if you had to ask me, like if you were just like, no, well, that's problematic. If you had to ask me like which one, it's probably the B-side to Chapter 7. I think it's just really well designed.
Nice, yeah.
What's yours?
Oh gosh, my favorite B-side? Oh,
Or in
now you're
general.
putting me on the spot. In general? Okay, so I definitely lean towards what you say for Summit as well. I've actually never finished Farewell. I got really close, but I got really frustrated. So I did give up halfway through, and I have yet to come back to it.
Understandable. It is hard.
Yeah, I actually had so much fun with C-sides, like just in general, more than I ever thought I would as someone who is not a speedrunner of this game. There was something so fulfilling about starting off having never done a 2D platformer before, and then tackling seasides and saying, oh my gosh, I did that.
Shout outs to Math Hacker. I learned that strat like 2 days ago. That strat saves like 0.2 in that room, but it's really fun. All right, so we have 7B. So 7B is very much the same. Is very much the same as 7A, a remix of every single chapter that we've been through thus far. The really great thing about 7B, in my opinion, there's no cutscenes. I don't have to skip any cutscenes. I love that part. My poor triangle, but really now, I disagree, video game. I don't, that was not cool. Not in front of my friends, please. Okay. So yeah, these are slightly shorter variations. I love this music. This is one of my favorite songs, like, in the entire soundtrack. Shout outs to Karain, aka Lena Rain. Really, really great song. I use this to pump myself up. I sometimes listen to it in the car when I need a little pick-me-up. All right, this next room has a really fun strat. So, remember, kids, spikes are a suggestion. So somehow, through the magic of Celeste, by doing a small little, what we call a spring cancel, I'm canceling the momentum of the spring by dashing back into the spring. That gives me just enough height to kick off of, like, the very end of that area that has spikes on it.
Ooh, also seeing these dream blocks now reminds me that actually this is my favorite mechanic. So pretty sure 2B was also 2B, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Was one of my favorite in terms of how smooth the movement felt. Just loved it.
Dream blocks are honestly one of the best examples of the leniency, the player leniency that Celeste has. Like, it's right up there with City with the zip mover momentum. They're really, really fun. And yeah, that one little move that I did across a lot of places are called Dream Hypers. When I was in 2B, I mentioned that you can jump out of dream blocks, but you can also do, like, super dashes and... Hold on, this room is really hard, and okay. Whew. I went right into the Dust Bunny. That is phenomenal gameplay. What was I talking about? I have forgotten.
The Dust Bunnies just ruin everything.
They do. They really do. Heck, I forgot what I was talking about. Shame. Shame that.
That's all right.
I was talking about Dream Hypers. Basically, you can also do Dream Supers and Dream Hypers, Hyper Dashes and Super Dashes out of Dream Blocks in the same way. So basically, I'm holding down left or down right out of... okay. Matt. That hurts a lot. That has not happened to me literally ever. Actually. That was a really weird misdirect. That's what you're supposed to do.
It's okay. We have a show quota. We need a This Has Never Happened Before at least once. So
do you want me
I'm
to
very
say
pleased
it,
to
or
say.
do you want to hold on to that for later?
Ooh. No, it's your turn. You got this.
Okay, that's never happened to me before.
Yeah, amazing.
Woo! Yes!
Show quota met.
We did
So
it.
now that I've asked what your favorite level is, what would your least favorite? Oh,
I'm sorry, I got
least
absolutely
favorite.
nothing out of that.
That's okay. How about least favorite level?
Oh god. Okay, so in general, and it's gonna be a weird one, 5C, the Seaside to Mirror Temple. I just found it underwhelming. It has nothing to do with what I didn't like. Hate it. I didn't like There wasn't anything that made me rage against it. I was just like, oh, that's it. That was about it. And I love the Seasides. I'm a huge Seasides fan. I'm actually at some point going to go for sub 5 minute all Seasides. But just that one particular Seaside was just not my favorite. But it does have a very funny demo dash in it. So I must say, it's not all bad.
It makes up for it.
It makes up for it. It's a 1-frame trick with the potential of it being a 0-frame trick. So lots of springs, and I accidentally dashed too early. Madeline's tired. I just chalked this up to Madeline.
Madeline's had a long day, so.
She has. I put her through a lot today. All right. So we're going to Flag 13. Flag 13 teaches you about coyote time. Basically, you're supposed to kind of get some coyote time off of that cloud before jumping off of it. It gets you just enough to clear those spinners. When I say coyote time, those of you who may have familiarity with the Looney Tunes will know of Wile E. Coyote and their tendency to run off of cliffs and then not fall until they actually look down. That's what it's based off of. For a couple of frames, Madeline is actually able to input a jump despite not being on the ground. And that's what coyote time is. And we use that to our advantage in many situations. And unfortunately, as a platforming lover, Celeste has ruined many platformers for me from this point on because of it. So this game teaches us about wall bounces now, even though we literally know how to do it from the beginning, but it's good that it asked.
We've got some really good counters in chat also, just need to let you know.
I'm proud of you, chat.
Good job, chat.
Good job. All right, hopefully I get this first try. I did it. I love that demo.
Amazing.
For the longest time, we used to say that demo was actually easier than the intended strat. I used to be like, yeah, okay, sure. Because I couldn't do demo dashes. I couldn't do crouch dashes being on console. And then I was actually able to do one. And I was like, oh, that's way easier. It's like an 8-frame window. It's very generous. All right, chat. Time will be coming up when I get the heart. One cutscene. Let's see if I can, let's have fun with this.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, nope. Okay. Well, I did get the funny demo. Yeah, there we go.
Nice. Awesome.
And that's time. Gotta finish on one of the most fun things that you can do. So that's called a Heart Ultra. Basically, I'm getting bounced off of the heart and getting ultra speed, and it's a frame perfect trick. So you can just go really far down left or down right off of the heart bounce if you just kind of dash it and break it at once, and it's really fun. I love doing that on that particular level. It's really, really great. That was actually a pretty good run. Let's go check out the pie real quick. We'll have some calming music as we finish off.
Gotta have our pie.
Gotta have our pie. So that's Benny%. I hope you enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite categories. I have grinded this category a lot, and especially recently. But it's one of my favorites. It takes a lot of my favorite aspects of Celeste, which are the B-sides and funny routing and a lot of really cool tricks. And it's just like a really little bite-sized category that's not quite any %, but it's not quite like an all hearts run or anything of that nature. And it's a really good way of getting you used to a lot of routing that you could do in other certain Celeste activities. So I hope that you liked it.
It was so much fun. Thanks so much, Carrie. And this is your friendly reminder to make sure to go follow Carrarium on Twitch if you're not doing so already, because she is absolutely amazing. And if you want to see more incredible Celeste runs, you should definitely go check her out.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So just before we head off into our next run, a couple announcements for y'all. Just a reminder that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support our weekly Hotfix content. So please consider subscribing if you enjoy these weekly Hotfix shows. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, go to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in looking at our live content, starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. So thanks so much, Carrie, again, for hanging out with us here on She Is Speed. Right after this break, we're going to see Sanjin with Mass Effect 2 all loyalty missions and a beautiful Madame Shepherd. So we'll catch y'all right after this break. See you later. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to more She Is Speed. My name is Lana Ruse, and I am your host for this fantastic evening for this show where we feature women in speedrunning who run games with female protagonists. So we just finished a run with Carrarium doing Celeste 20%, and next up we have a fantastic Mass Effect 2 all loyalty missions run. So you'll want to stay here for that. But before we get started, a couple announcements. Frame Fatales is having its next all-women speedrunning event, Flame Fatales, from August 21st to 27th. The marathon schedule is now out, so make sure to type !FF in Twitch chat or go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info. Prize submissions are now open. Check the site for more information. And One and Done-a-thon is coming up again, where you can show off your favorite run, and that's your only appearance in the One and Done-a-thon series. So you can type !OADAT to see the schedule. So make sure to do that. All right, let's get into the next run. We're going to introduce our next runner, and take it away.
Hello everyone, I'm Sanjin. I'll be showing off Mass Effect 2 all loyalty missions. I believe this is the first time it's ever been shown in a marathon, and boy, do we have some really fun changes coming up. This is basically a category where we recruit everyone in the mission, and we do everyone's loyalty mission. So we're basically going fast and helping everyone out. And with me on my virtual couch is Mike Wave.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I also run this game too much, I would say. And yeah, I also run this category.
Yeah, I'm one of the sort of newer runners. Well, I started running this in March, so like 5 months ago. So it's a really fun speed run. It's extremely fast paced. Y'all are gonna love this. So I am starting the main menu because we don't start from new game. We start from a pre-made save because the prologue is a bunch of walking around and no one wants to watch that, and I'm just going to be in the menu here since Miranda's just going to keep yelling at us. But so timing starts when I say go, when I start moving. So without further ado, I'll count us down from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so we're basically going to immediately start in the lab here, and then we're just basically going to run around. This is sort of like a tutorial section where Miranda tells us to wake up. That's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, unlucky.
It's fine. So we're basically going to be dashing around here, and then we're going to be pretty much very fast coming up on our first use of the glitch here. So this is called an elevator glitch. So basically, elevator is, as it says, you kind of put yourself up and basically pull yourself up, and it lets us do some really cool tricks. And as long as we basically force melee there to quote unquote jump down, then I'll let Mike explain a little bit more of this.
So the elevation glitch is going to be our primary way of getting out of bounds throughout the game and doing a lot of skips. It's going to be used throughout basically the entire run. It's by far the best way to get verticality in the game, and the melee abuse is what we have to use basically in order to bypass these invisible walls and pieces of collision to get around. And also what you're seeing Sanjin do here to get around is the charge ability. This is the primary ability, the signature ability of the Vanguard class, which we're playing right now. Every class has a signature ability, and they're all pretty good, but the Vanguard charge is by far the best one in the game for just getting around for speedrunning purposes. And something else you're going to be seeing Sanjin do is she's going to be going in and out of the options menu, and going into the options menu and leaving is basically going to cancel out the animation that would normally play when you're casting the charge ability. Saves about a second every time you do it, so very, very handy.
Oh, that's a good
yeah. The super slide, yeah. So that's like a little bug you'll see every now and then is when you charge into an enemy and they are still alive, they'll still have collision, but they'll enter a ragdoll state. And sometimes Shepard goes into the ragdoll, and then the ragdoll kind of just goes around and like moves Shepard all over the place. It looks really, really jank. But sometimes it works in our favor like that.
Yeah, so a little bit of plot here. So this is a sequel to Mass Effect 1. This takes place 2 years after Mass Effect 2, or Mass Effect 1. So basically, Shepard's a soldier who basically saved the world from a invasion from Sarah and then a Reaper named Sovereign. So really,
Unlucky.
So basically, about 2 weeks after the end of Mass Effect 1, Shepard was hunting Geth, which are like robots, and then Shepard TLDR basically took the L. And then 2 years, and then through like a really secret project that Cerberus, one of the big, really secret organizations, kind of took, she's basically revived.
Yeah, the entire like intro of the game is like just watching Shepard be killed in the Normandy, which is our ship just exploding. And then yeah, we just like become alive again. That's why the first like mission of the game is called Lazarus Station.
And you're going to see here this Freedom's Progress is extremely broken because you're using elevators to basically skip quite a bit of this level.
So, as you could probably tell, even if you haven't played this game before, like this is not the intended path you were supposed to be taking. We're using the elevator glitch to get onto the rooftops, basically, of these buildings, which will allow us to bypass all the combat portions, except this part right here. We have to do this part, unfortunately. But yeah, Sanjan's going to kill a couple of drones right here, and that's going to initiate this Tali voice line, and then we're going to be able to move on to the last room of Freedom's Progress. Going to be doing a quick save, quick load right there, real fast, just to cancel out that voice line. It's a little bit faster than just like hearing it, actually. All right, and here we're going to be like introduced, by the way, to some of the abilities we're going to be using. We use, I think, Overload right there, along with Reeve. So Shepard is basically allowed to have at least one bonus ability. The one we have is Reeve, because it is by far the best bonus ability in the game. It just damages everything, and also helps siphon life from enemies that do not have a shield or a barrier up or anything like that. So that just keeps us alive, gives us iframes, which is going to be very useful for later.
Yeah, you're going to see some really fun uses of Reeve a little bit later on.
I won't wait.
Yeah, so now we're pretty much, so basically in Freedom's Progress, we basically investigated these group of people who are, an event where like there's a bunch of people who are mysteriously like kidnapped and there's like no traces of them. And then we find out that a group named the Collectors has pretty much taken them. But I'm going to switch weapons here. I'm going to switch to the Maddock and Kane. You'll learn about the Kane later, but the Maddock is basically the best assault rifle.
I would argue it's the best weapon in the game, period. It is a DLC weapon. The category we are doing is the DLC category. It's the category most people run for, like for most categories, because the DLC just makes the game way, way faster. You have access to the DLC squad mates who are just way faster to pick up than the base game ones. And the DLC weapons in general are just like really stupidly broken. And
right so here, what you see me did there is what we call the Bobby Skip. It was actually pretty recently discovered. Like a week or two ago, but basically we used to have to go loop all the way around and wait for the doors to open, but with this we can pretty much just take a direct path to Bobby to start the Morden recruitment mission. And Morden is probably one of the best squad mates you could ever recruit.
Yeah. There's a couple of reasons we get Morden here first. So if you're not familiar with how the narrative structure of this game works, we basically have to, throughout the game, just recruit like squad mates to join our team who will join us for the mission to attack the Collector base, which is going to be referred to as the Suicide Mission. It's basically the penultimate mission of the game. And the first squad mate we're going to pick up is Morden, just because he unlocks access to the lab on our ship, which is going to allow us to get some upgrades, which for this category is super, super important. And also because, yeah, as Sanjan mentioned, he is just the best squad mate in the game, basically, or one of the two best squad mates in the game, because he has Incinerate, which is just a super, super useful ability. And also, as you're seeing here, like we were doing some pretty big skips right here to skip big portions of the level. Right here, we're supposed to be going into this clinic. However, we're just going to elevator up onto the top here and do a melee abuse to skip to this part right here, and that completely bypasses it.
Yeah, this basically skips a whole bunch of this kind of like story because you're supposed to go into the clinic and talk to Morden, but we just take we already know what he wants. We already know what he is looking to fix, which is basically insert the cure. So we're just basically doing this work for him. Yeah, as you see here, it's like extremely fast-paced runs. Excuse me. Like I'm charging through a bunch of enemies. I'm basically ignoring them, and we're basically really quickly making our way through this entire level really quick.
Yeah, also you're seeing right here just how good the charge ability is. It just allows us to like just completely go across this entire room that would normally take us like probably like 20 seconds of running to cross just instantly. So saves a ton of time over the run.
Yeah, so we're gonna come here to one of the slightly more annoying parts. You gotta I'd basically insert the cure to the fan, but these sometimes these spawns can be it can be a little rude, so hopefully my squad mates don't do the thing.
Good RNG here. Yeah, there is, like, this is one of the first rooms, I would say, that actually does have pretty noticeable RNG with enemy spawns. You could potentially lose some time here if your squad mates kill too many enemies, or, like, you're just not allowed to charge. Yeah, unlucky. All right, at least we got it on the second one right there, though.
Yeah, so you gotta kill a couple of these enemies in order for the other fan door to spawn, and that's pretty nice, because Jacob died, so if Jacob dies, you skip basically some dialogue that he says that's unskippable.
Yeah, it saves about like 4 seconds, I think, if Jacob dies in that room, because then it just immediately goes to the black screen.
Yeah. So after this little talking warden, we're gonna go grab the assault rifle upgrade that we just got a little bit earlier. It's actually a pretty important upgrade since we really do need damage for these next two sections.
Yeah. Something we should mention right now, by the way, is that we are doing this run on New Game Plus, not New Game. There are separate categories for New Game and New Game Plus. We haven't exactly gotten around to routing this category yet specifically for New Game, but for New Game Plus, we start at level 12. The max level is level 30. We have most of our abilities maxed out, the ones that we're going to be using for the most part, and we also have assault rifles already, in case you're wondering how we are using an assault rifle already, because normally you're supposed to get it about like halfway into the game. And a big thing to note about how the level scaling in this game works is that the enemies actually get way stronger as you get higher levels. So starting at level 12 is actually more optimal than starting at level 30, because at level 30 the enemies just become super tanky and just deal a lot more damage than they normally would, even on casual, which is the lowest difficulty that we're currently playing on.
As you see there, I recruited Zaid, who's a DLC character. You also get his loyalty mission immediately, but we won't be doing that until quite a bit later. But one thing to also note is that you'll notice me just like go through dialogue extremely fast, and it's because I'm using a freewheel scroll mouse to match the dialogue, but you can also do that same effect with the macro pretty much.
Yeah, within the community, we allow people to use either a macro or a free scroll mouse wheel, just because they both essentially do the same thing, which is allow you to skip dialogue super fast, and because we didn't really want like there to be a pay-to-win option per se, you know?
Yeah, there is going to be, unfortunately, one point in this run where, unlike in most of the shorter categories, where having a free wheel scroll mouse is a direct advantage over a macro, but we won't see that until, like, a very late game.
Yeah.
So story-wise, we've recruited more than an hour grabbing our next person, Archangel. So basically, Archangel kind of made a whole bunch of mercenaries, different mercenary gangs mad, and they all want to kill Archangel, so we're there to basically rescue them.
Also, very important thing to note real fast, we're going to be taking Morton and Miranda for most of our squad makeups, just because Morton and Miranda are the two best squad mates in the game. Miranda is by far the best in the game. She has this passive ability called Cerberus Officer, which just buffs us like passively, our weapon damage. It's just super good and nice. So Sanjan is also just doing 2 skips here to get to the Archangel mission like a little bit faster. Normally we have to go all the way around here and like talk to this NPC to start the mission, but if we do some elevators right here, then we can just start it immediately, which is really nice. Probably saves like nearly a minute overall, I want to say.
Yeah, it's also probably one of the easier skips to mess up, just because your positioning has to be pretty precise.
Yeah.
It's very easy to mess up. Trying to kill these enemies here. And hey, look, it's Garrus from Mass Effect 1.
Spoiler alert, Archangel is Garrus. So yeah, the Garrus segment is probably, in any percent, it's by far like the hardest segment, I would say. It's like the longest segment. It's super reset heavy. This first part is going to have a little bit of RNG here. So first things first, we're going to deal with these mechs right here on the bridge. We need to kill these mechs as fast as possible so that the normal enemies start spawning. All right, nice.
That was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this next
so we're gonna go.
This next part, I have to basically wait for a couple enemies, at least 4, to enter the base, or else I'll get additional spawns, and that makes it really slow. That was fast.
That was really fast.
Okay, I'll just wait a second here.
Yeah. I'm always wary when I get it like too fast nowadays. All right, 2, 3.
3. Where's number 4 here?
That might be good.
Maybe. I think that's good.
Nice. That was super good. Yeah, so killing 4 enemies in the base is a lot faster than like killing enemies over and over and over again and just waiting for them to respawn. So obviously it's just more optimal just to get to this next segment right here. So the way this mission is set up is like there's 3 mercenary gangs that have like teamed up basically to kill Garrus, and we just need to deal with the gangs like one by one. We're doing the Eclipse section right now. This is easily like the hardest and most reset heavy segment just because it relies very heavily on like the enemy pathing RNG along with RNG from Garrus. So Garrus is like helping us out and like just sniping the enemies for us and stuff like that. But if Garrus kills like too many enemies, if he's like too cracked, then like he can actually like kind of screw you over and like just cost you a lot of time.
Yeah, so I like to call the segment like Gamer Garrus. You know, sometimes Garrus could be a gamer in a good way, which is like killing just enough enemies, or in a bad way, which is him either killing way too many enemies or way too little enemies. So basically, this pretty much like this is also one of the longest regular recruitment missions, just because it's also because of RNG, but there's just a lot of like kind of glorified auto scroller part portions, which is basically this.
These next 2 parts are basically just 2 long auto scrollers, unfortunately, and there's not really a way to skip them. You just have to kind of take the L and just wait for it to end with these shutters right here.
Yeah, so I also want to mention that this Mass Effect 2 speedruns are generally done on casual difficulty, primarily because we basically deal a lot of damage, but you take a lot of damage as well. Like, it is very easy to die even in casual mode.
Yep. Especially once you're level 30. Once you're level 30, the enemies start hitting like super hard, and you actually have to be very careful about your positioning.
Yeah, and if you play on the hardest difficulty, which is Insanity, like, the enemies are basically the biggest bullet sponges in the world.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of like how a lot of games of this era like kind of scale their difficulty to just make everything like a super tank, basically on the higher difficulties. So obviously, there's not really any advantage gained from playing on higher difficulties. So we just play on the easiest.
I think you're right. Derek's got the top.
All right, I gotta be careful here not to accidentally soft lock.
Has to meet him head on.
Heads up.
If you kill the so there's like sections of like different mercenary leaders. For this one, if you kill her too early, then it's possible you can soft lock. So I'm just leaving her at that amount of HP until the helicopter comes along.
Yeah, you should be good now. Oh, nice. Yeah, if you kill that mini boss like a little too fast before that like gunship comes back, it just never comes back, and you just are stuck there forever. It's a very, on one hand, it's very funny, like a very funny soft lock, but on the other hand, it's like just annoying if it does happen to you during a run.
Yeah, so this is basically auto-scroller, but we're going to be introduced pretty soon here to a good old big boss weapon that everybody loves. And we're also going to be introduced to a fun little glitch called the autosave glitch, and I'll let Mike explain this.
All right, so yeah, the first things first, you see this giant weapon strapped to our back here that Sanjin is pulling out right now. This is the Cane. As you're going to see right here, the Cane is basically a personal mini nuke launcher that we could just use whenever, basically. Well, not technically whenever. Oh yeah, also nodders right here. Is Garrett's going to nod? Yeah, let's go. Nice. It was like a mini nodders. But yeah, the Cane is like basically a giant nuke launcher that we could use whenever we have it at 100% capacity. And it does a lot of damage. It could basically just insta-kill nearly every single enemy in the game. And thus, it is very, very nice for speedrunning to use it for most bosses. Reduces a lot of the RNG of the game as well. And the main drawback of the cane is how much ammo it uses. It uses a lot of ammo. You can basically only use it once before you have to refill it. However, Sanjan made note of a bug that we've been exploiting this whole time, called the autosave bug. By playing the game from the very beginning without any autosaves, the game will just like immediately, as soon as we get the Freedom's Progress, just refill our heavy weapon ammo to 100. And then if we just don't turn autosaves back on, then at the beginning of every mission, the game will just refill our heavy weapon ammo, including the cane. So we could just use the cane for free, basically, at the beginning. Like at the beginning of every mission, we just get all our ammo back, and we can use the cane again, which is just very useful. We could just use it once per mission, basically, which just makes the run much, much faster than it normally would be.
Yeah, there's a bunch of enemies, like, they're very tanky, or there's, like, a large group of enemies that is just, like, too time-consuming to kill with the Maddox, especially because you kind of do have limited ammo.
Yeah.
Like, this game, or this is often note, hello, friends? This is also played on the original version.
Yeah, in case you are wondering, we are playing OG, we're not playing Legendary Edition. Most of these bugs, besides the autosave bug, are all patched out on Legendary Edition, so it is much, much slower than this version of the game. So
as you see there, I have all of my ammo back, just like that.
But yeah, most of us just prefer... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so story-wise, we're recruiting Jack, who's one of the most powerful biotics in cutscenes, at least. I don't know, or not in game, unfortunately. So basically, she's in prison here, and what happened is that our life's never easy for us because the warden wants to imprison us as well because more money or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like messy, like the plot here, like why the warden thinks they can, kidnap Shepard, who is like basically a super soldier, but
as well as like mess with Cerberus, like that's a pretty tall order, but it is what it is. I missed.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
that's by far the hardest quick kill to get.
Yeah,
and if you don't get it, you lose like 10-15 seconds.
Yeah, so what Sanjan was trying to do there is that at the beginning right here of this fight, this bubble around the warden who we have to kill to end the segment is just not up for like 5 seconds. So we have 5 seconds to basically just immediately try to kill the warden, and if we do, it saves like 15-20 seconds. So very nice to try to go for. And in any percent run, you basically have to get it if you're going for like a super top time. But it's very, very hard to do due to like RNG with the Maddox spread, just the targeting on our abilities being kind of jank from very far away. So yeah, that it happens quite often actually. So it makes Jack like a very, very reset heavy portion of the run, I would say.
Yeah, it's probably right there with Garrus is one of the more reset heavy portions, especially if you're looking to get a top run. So coming up next here, we are going to recruit Okir the Warlord. I forgot the exact plot, but he's basically like a very well-known Krogan raising a Krogan army. Basically tank-born Krogan.
It's like a synthetic Krogan army, kind of.
And we are also going to skip a huge portion of this level, so Jack was one of the few... The Jack's recruitment section was one of the few ones where we don't have that many fast glitches, but this one is pretty quick because we basically have to skip going all the way around the level.
Yeah, so normally we have to like make this giant U-shape around the map here while dealing with these mercenaries who just pop up on these little platforms. But by doing this skip, you basically just avoid all that, and then we go straight to this final fight right here. Sanjan's going to need to kill these 4 guys right here in order to talk to this Krogan dude, which will allow us to progress. Oh, nice fight. Very good.
Yeah, that was a really good fight.
Stay alert.
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, that's unfortunate. So basically, after that main glitch, there is actually a glitch, or there's like a glitchy way to do this, but it's unfortunately slower than taking the normal way past, around this place, just because Charge is such a good traveling around ability.
Yeah, Charge is just like glitchless basically, and also just insanely broken. It's kind of funny. And here we're introduced to the first puzzle of the game. So there's 2 variants of puzzle like mini games in this game. That was the first one, which is like pairing 5 nodes to open a door. I think in this category, I forgot how many there are in any percent. It's like 3 of them, I think. And the solutions are basically RNG. However, the patterns that are used to compose like the random solution are all basically set. So if you do enough puzzles, you'll just get to know, like, by instinct, basically, like which like nodes connect to which without even having to look at them, really. So there is a very large skill component involved with the puzzles, I would say, but at the same time, like, it is just ultimately RNG at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's like kind of sorta skill-based RNG.
Yeah.
Because like if you'll know enough patterns, it's like some of them are very easy to tell, but also targeting them also tends to be pretty janky.
Yeah. There's going to be another variant we're going to be introduced to in a little bit, which is much, much worse than that one, which is like much more RNG and just like not really skill-based, unlike that one.
Yeah, thankfully we only do that once in every single category except for one.
Yeah, there's only one that you have to do in the entire game. We'll talk about it a little bit when we get to it in a few minutes here. So here we are, we're talking to Oak here, and he wants us to deal with this mercenary leader that's causing him trouble. And as you can expect, there's a big boss we have to deal with. We're just going to pull out the cane and use it right here. So
we're totally going to face the boss legitimately, like, you know, we're totally going to go in the room and, you know, take care of them. Just kidding.
Alarms in the lab. Damn it, what's Oak here doing back there?
So basically we just pop a cane into that room and everything goes kerplow. Just like that.
Yeah.
And that's so basically story-wise, Okir basically kind of sacrifices himself to save the Krogan in a tank, which is actually the person we recruited. And then now that we've gotten our base 5 squad mates, we are entered into this kind of mandatory big plot mission where the collectors are kidnapping, or collectors are about to pretty much kidnap, and we're gotta go chase after them.
So yeah, this right here is the Horizon mission. The Horizon mission is always triggered once you get the 4 base game squad mates that you're supposed to get first, which is always Morden, Garrus, Jack, and Grunt. So basically every category has like the first like initial like 25 minutes basically where we just get these squad mates and then go to Horizon, and then the game opens up quite a bit afterwards, and then the routes start to diverge afterwards.
Joker, set a course for Horizon. I've got to go see the professor.
So yeah, Horizon is what I would argue to be maybe the most broken / exploitable mission in the game. It's followed closely by the Tali recruitment mission. But yeah, this is a very, very long mission normally, where you have to deal with like a ton of like collectors who we're going to be introduced to here. They are like the main antagonists of the game, and it can be pretty troublesome when you're dealing with them like combat-wise. But we are basically just going to skip most of it, as you'll see in just a moment here.
Yeah, it is a very broken mission. Casually, this mission is actually pretty difficult because we have to deal with a ton of really difficult collector-type enemies, but we don't see them until like a little bit later on, or at least one of them.
But yeah, the general rule of thumb for like finding glitches and skips in this game are that like the more open a map is, the easier it is going to be to basically just skip more of it. And the Horizon map is thankfully super, super open, as you can see right here. We're just kind of like going off to the side right here, doing some elevators, and then that'll take us over here onto this indirect path. And this kind of just takes us in a straight line to the final room that we're supposed to be going to.
Yeah, so we're also going to be using an application of the elevator glitch here. So there's like load lines that will take us all the way to the top. All the way to the top, but it's a pretty precise clip here because it's very easy to mess up and you can easily go out of bounds here. So, in a second.
Oh, unlucky, yeah.
That's fine.
So yeah, what Sanjan is trying to do here... Oh, nice, we got a save for that. Nice. All right, so what you saw Sanjan just do there is that she basically went into one load trigger as she was falling there to despawn this wall, and then meleeed herself back into the load trigger to spawn the wall again, and then the wall basically just pushes us up so we can kind of just continue along here to the final room of the game, or the final room of this segment, I mean. And here we have the dreaded hacking puzzle. This is one of the most RNG parts of the game right here. Let's see how this goes for us right here.
Match this stuff. Actually, where's the third one?
That is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right there. Yes. Okay.
A little slow, but it's okay.
Yeah, so as you saw right there, we basically just have to match 3 panels back to back. And how long it takes for the panels that we need to show up is just completely RNG. So sometimes you can do that puzzle like immediately, and sometimes it takes you like 15 seconds. There's not really a whole lot you can do about it, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Nice.
Hello, friends. Yeah, those enemies can be. Or so basically, we're introduced to a new type of enemy called Harbinger. He's just basically can take control of like any of these smaller collectors, and attempting to try to take assuming direct control of the speedrun. But too bad we're smarter than him.
Yeah, the Harbinger enemies are like one of the more like strong enemies. They're easily one of the strongest enemies you play against in the game. We have to be very, very cautious of them. They can like, even on casual, they can just like nuke you down like super, super fast. That was a pretty good fight. So this fight is basically just 2 phases right there where we fight normal enemies. And what Sanjan is going to do right here is she's going to set up for a quick kill on the boss. So after this voice line right here, she's going to start charging the cane, and then she's going to shoot it against this wall and skip the cutscene very, very fast. And right after we skip the cutscene, it's going to hit the wall and immediately kill this boss. That was super, super good.
Yeah, it's a somewhat precise skip here. So, yeah, just like timing it after Miranda's dialogue is basically the easiest way to do it. And so now we're basically, this game kind of opens up quite a bit to us. So we get to talk to, we got to re-equip the cane here because it automatically gives us the collector weapon, which obviously we don't want. But basically now we're introduced to this concept called loyalty missions. If you want a general summary of the loyalty missions, Shepard basically plays therapist for everyone. Because it's like, this suicide mission is just like very high risk. Like everyone has to kind of like, in order to be like tip-top shape, like they have to get like their stuff that they haven't like sorted out of the way before they can basically like perform at their fullest. And so each person kind of basically has a task for them. So this is probably the largest elevator.
Yep, right here. All the way to the sky. So this right here is the Tali recruitment mission. So after you're done with Horizon, as Sanjan mentioned, we get access to the loyalty missions and also a couple more squad mates we can recruit, which are Samara, Thane, and Tali that we can get. And normally this is where the routes diverge. In any percent, you just try to immediately progress the game after getting Kasumi to just end the game immediately without grabbing any of them. However, for all loyalty missions, we obviously got to start grabbing them. We go for Tali first. So this mission, along with Horizon, is probably the most exploitable one in the game. As you're seeing right here, we can kind of just use these elevators to immediately bypass all these barriers right here.
Yeah, Tali's recruitment mission is normally like really long because you have to go like grab a bomb to blow up some stuff. There's a bunch of these scaff here in your way, but we're basically just gonna, Shepard basically puts a Spectre in Mass Effect 1, she becomes a Spectre, which is basically like a secret agent group of people working for the Council. She literally puts a Spectre in Spectre.
Yeah, we are Spectres quite literally.
Starting to another elevator here. We're basically, yeah, I do apologize. There's going to be a little bit of like really weird stuff, so motion sickness, a little warning here.
Into the void we go. Yeah, we're basically just bypassing this very long segment where we have to blow up this pillar by just going above the room and then falling in right here. Thankfully, this game doesn't use many like progress flags that we need to hit. There's only like 2 missions that I know of in the entire game where you need to do something or else the game will just soft lock if you skip it. This mission is thankfully not one of them, so as long as we get to the final room and talk to the last door, Tali will like join us.
Yeah, it can be a little sketchy. It's okay. I'm not gonna die.
Yeah. So we're gonna be doing a very, very big like Omega charge right here onto this the boss in this arena right here. So yeah, as you see, we can just charge across this entire room, and then Sanjan is just gonna immediately charge with the cane to kill it as per usual.
Yeah, we solve every single problem in the world with the cane, pretty much. Also, Rippin' Pepperoni's Cal Rieger. He's a great character, but unfortunately, taking the Paragon option to save him is much slower because there's mandatory dialogue that we have to listen to. Yeah, I'm sorry, Cal Rieger fans.
Something we should probably mention right now. We are doing this this category as a Renegade character. Renegade on this category specifically probably saves about a minute or so over Paragon, so it is more optimal for us to play Renegade.
Yeah, so for those of you who like Renegade Shepard, there you go. Shepard in this speedrun is a big jerk, but sometimes you got to be you got to be a little rude to get what you want.
My father.
We're gonna go grab a I'm gonna go grab Miranda's loyalty mission here, which we'll be doing very soon. And then we are gonna go pick up some more loyalty missions here. We're also gonna wake up a person in Tanku's Runt.
Subject is stable. Protocol.
And then we're gonna be grabbing
there-
some more loyalty missions. We can't grab all the loyalty missions at once because there's kind of like after each mission, like different loyalty missions like get unlocked pretty much.
Yeah, I think normally it's like you have to do 2 missions after Horizon before most of them become available, but even then, some of them are kind of locked for a little bit, like the Garrus one, I think, for instance. So yeah, we're not going to be able to pick them up all at once here. We are going to be able to access Jack's loyalty mission, which we're going to grab right after we wake up Grunt here. That is also the reason we wake up Grunt so early, by the way, so then we can grab his loyalty mission when we're picking up everything else.
As you see there, Renegade Shepard's got her, Renegade scars. She's looking mighty evil, if I may say. You can actually cosmetically take that out, but I personally prefer to just keep it on.
The doctor.
Makes her look more stylish. And so now we're gonna be coming up to Ilium, which is we're gonna be doing lots of missions there. We're gonna be doing Miranda's loyalty mission first. And then we're going to be doing Samara and Thane. So Miranda's mission is a little bit more convenient to go through, and then there's just basically stuff that we can do there on the way, and it still keeps us in Ilium when we finish the mission, so it's just nicer to do first.
Oh yeah, it's something we should mention right now, by the way. We are running this game with a speedrun mod that the community made. All it does only a few things. It makes the base FOV 105. It removes a interact that an interrupt that FemShep normally gets that costs her 5 seconds over male Shep. So we took that out just so male Shep and FemShep would be the same speed wise. And it also makes it so all the pre-rendered cutscenes in the game are basically just like 1 frame, like movies basically, so they are just instantly skipped. Just that is something you're going to see, by the way, later. Not having pre-rendered cutscenes is going to make some of the in-game models look kind of funky at times.
Yeah, you're gonna see some pretty funky stuff later on. It's always funny to look at it, especially as a first-time viewer of the speedruns. But also to note, the speedrun mod also makes FemShep and BroShep equal, because there's a cutscene in Garrus's recruitment mission where it's about 4 seconds longer as FemShep, and basically the mod removes that, so everybody's equal. Yay!
Yeah.
I suggest you walk away nicely.
Alright, so this is Miranda's loyalty mission. Basically, she has a sister, Oriana, who she tries to get her out of trouble, but her dad, who is a bad person, TM, found out about her, so she's trying to essentially rescue her and make sure that nothing, she doesn't get kidnapped or anything like really bad happens to her. But it's also a very glitchy mission, is that we can basically skip going through almost this entire level normally.
Yeah, I think you found a skip, right? Like recently?
Yeah, I found a skip,
Ooh, unlucky.
Okay, that's two. Yeah, it's very easy to randomly elevate her around here. It's very annoying. That's okay though.
But yeah, we could
So I think it was before, like we couldn't get through a certain part, but I accidentally managed to find a way to get through one of the parts, which makes this like quite a bit faster and safer than going through it normally.
Yeah, kind of normally you're just zigzagging all around the map, and it takes forever because there's a bunch of enemies you normally have to kill. So being able to kind of bypass them out of bounds just saves, obviously, a lot of time. It works kind of similarly to the Horizon skip that you saw earlier, where like we're kind of abusing the load triggers to kind of boost us up to normally like get past some like obstacles that we normally couldn't get past.
And right, you saw there, that was a really precise obstacle. It's very easy to get trapped there.
Yeah.
And then we're at the end of the level. And so I took out the cane there since there's a couple seconds buffer before the cutscene starts.
Authorization to change their booking.
I'm sorry, sir.
But yeah, as you saw, we're taking out the cane, so you know what's coming up.
Yeah, and so basically plot-wise, unsurprisingly, Naket's the person in charge of keeping Oriana safe. TLDR, he basically tries to betray her, and then Miranda is like, very understandably not happy and decides to kill him. You can take the Paragon option here, but it's just generally slower.
Going to miss you.
A lot of Paragon options are decidedly slower, so basically being a jerk makes you go fast. There's a hiding Andy here.
Alright, Delta's been pretty
That's
fast
fine.
though.
Yeah. These enemies that spawn in the elevator. Hello, friends. And that's the end of Miranda's mission.
There could be more Eclipse mercs near the shop.
But yeah, that's going to go ahead and end the segment right there. They reunite in a very heartwarming moment, but we're not going to see that. But yeah, part of the reason we do the Miranda loyalty mission right there is because it does not take us back to the Normandy, actually. So we could just do that one real fast. It's going to put us back on Ilium, and then we're going to go straight to talking to Liara, who is from the first game, potential romance from the first game. I think you mentioned something funny to me last night that like if your character was romanced to Liara in ME1, it's like actually like 30 seconds slower here or something like that.
I'm pretty sure romancing anyone is slower because I don't know how the Horizon cutscene works out to be a romance Caden or Ashley, because you do get an extra cutscene. I don't know if the hug is cutscene in Horizon is skippable, but yeah, it's like Liara and Shepard, if Liara's romance basically makes out for like 20 seconds and it's really slow.
Yeah.
It's cute, but it's in the speedrun since, Shepard kind of needs to go fast.
But yeah, we actually do need to talk to Liara there because she's going to give us info on both Samara and Thane so we can go do their recruitment missions. We can't I've actually lost a run before because I forgot to talk to Liara, and you literally cannot start the missions if you don't talk to her.
Yeah, these two missions here are really annoying because we get to have a fun encounter with a group of enemies called Vanguards, and it's not because they have charge that is really annoying, it's because they have a warp, which basically staggers us and prevents us from moving around really fast, and it's extremely annoying. And it is, well, the Samara mission isn't as bad, but the Thane mission is probably my least favorite recruitment mission speedrun-wise, next to Garrus's, obviously. Just because of the sheer amount of enemies.
Yeah. Should also mention, by the way, for those who are fans of, glitchless runs, these two recruitment missions are basically glitchless. We actually do not have any skips for Samara and Thane, unfortunately. These missions are pretty hard to break, actually. So, yeah, we're just going to be doing this basically normally, just going around from enemy to enemy really fast with charge. But we're going to be using Decane right here to wipe out this group right here. And I'm pulling a charge right here so we can immediately go talk to Samara.
Yeah, pretty cool optimization that I think you found out.
Yeah. Actually, it might have been you. I don't remember.
I started using the cane, but I think you were the one who did that. But yeah. It's a very fun little flair to the charge, in addition to saving you time.
Also, probably the longest load screen right there in the entire game for whatever reason. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, this load screen is kind of weird because you get a little delay here.
Yeah, and also a frame drop that can happen right there for whatever reason. This mission is super weird on the technical side of things.
Yeah, it's not. Thankfully, it's not a crash.
Yeah, that would be. Speaking of crashes, there's something we'll talk about later. That is something we actually have to be kind of worried about, but we'll get to it. First things first, we're going to be charging. We ideally want to charge this Vanguard right here, as Sanjan mentioned. The Vanguards are super, super annoying because they can just spam warp at you, which just staggers your character and just stops you, basically. It's really annoying.
Yeah, I basically kind of pretty much, kill them so that they don't do any funny business to me. They are extremely annoying. They're extremely annoying. It's not too bad in this level because you can charge them, but in the Thane mission, there's multiple of them, so you can't, charge them really easily. Alright, good. Morden and Miranda are alive, so I can use an ability on this poor little mercenary. And then we're basically just gonna walk our way through here. Yeah, so basically for plot-wise, Samara is hunting an arc that Yachi, which is basically someone who basically kills in a very particular way, to say the least, and it's her daughter, pretty much, so I do want to apologize to Samara fans in advance. Ooh, yeah. That's really nice. Samara and Rex fans, to be specific. That's a really good puzzle. Also, unfortunately, we don't get to do this cutscene just because we can skip it, but this cutscene with Nuke Cal is extremely funny.
Yeah, and I think this NPC is a favorite of a lot of people, but yeah, obviously, an NPC we don't have to talk to, so we don't talk to them.
So we're gonna charge Masaya. I don't remember. I think she was like guarding the ship that had the location of the person Samara was hunting.
Yeah, and this memo is basically just telling us the ship name that Samara wants, which we're going to go give to her. So yeah, if you don't give Samara, lore-wise, what happens if you don't come back in time to give Samara the ship name is she's going to go berserk trying to find the ship name, and the cops are basically just trying to keep her subdued. And I've heard people tell me, like, if you don't recruit Samara in the game, like, the cops just end up killing her, but I don't... Like, let's be honest, I don't think they're going to be able to kill Samara. She's very, very powerful, at least lore-wise, she is.
She's got some good abilities, too. Oh, I did this again. Oopsies.
Yeah.
So, she's a really powerful biota. She learns Reeve as well, which is, like, a really nice ability, but unfortunately...
Also, remember to swap your AR here.
Yeah, okay, I gotta swap it when I start the mission.
Yeah, for whatever reason, after you finish the Samara mission, the game automatically equips, I think it's like the triple burst AR. It automatically equips it no matter what you have equipped. So we want to keep using the Maddock, so we have to kind of remember before we start the Thane mission to re-equip the Maddock.
I have forgotten it a couple more times than I would like to admit. It's there's quite a bit more things in this category since it is a longer category. So, and yeah. We don't want this lame assault rifle. We want our Maddock back. Alrighty, so we will grab Morton and Miranda again. I gotta remember to put on the Maddock. And basically, so plot-wise, Thane's trying to assassinate Asantia Dancius. And we gotta go grab him. Also, first Paragon option, one of the Paragon options, which is fast. We're a good Samaritan, you know, if it means we go fast.
Yeah. I think this Paragon option's only like 2 seconds faster than the Renegade one.
Basically, yeah, since there's no good skips or other options just to charge across the entire level. Yeah, we're just gonna be making our merry way here, and this first part isn't so bad, but the second part of this level is really bad. Well, the part coming up here can be slightly sketchy depending on the enemies which spawn. Since I think if we do kill enemies, there's some additional ones that spawn. We're gonna charge to a friendly neighborhood Eclipse Troopers here. I don't think this one here is gonna spawn. Yeah.
Yeah, the spawns on this mission are very, very weird. Like, I think it's depending on your speed. Sometimes they're just like here, and sometimes they're not. And yeah, we need to interact with this elevator right here, and we're going to be using the cane to basically deal with these enemies like super fast.
I have a feeling that elevator isn't coming down empty.
Alright, this should be good timing.
Yeah, that's good. Nice. Basically, the enemies behind this elevator door are spawned in at the very beginning of that elevator AI voice line. So by timing it correctly, you can just kill them before they're like even allowed to attack you. It's pretty funny.
Alright, this Renegade option I believe is slower, but I do it because I want to, and it's an iconic scene. How about goodbye? I think Bro Shep says it's better than Fem Shep personally. Very iconic cutscene.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I remember when they were marketing this game back in like 2009, 2010. I'm pretty sure that like interrupt right there was one they used a lot to market the game. Because it was just like, it's kind of funny, honestly.
Alright, this is no fast charge. I guess we gotta run through here.
This is where, yeah, the Vanguards can not be super nice to us.
Alright, I gotta, hopefully, this Vanguard also tends to do nothing.
Yeah, this is a very scary part right here, as you're gonna see. Even though we're on casual, you can potentially die like super fast. The game is a cover shooter at the end of the day, and you are punished pretty heavily for not being behind cover. Even on the lowest
And
difficulty, you die very
And
fast.
speedruns, you don't really want to be in cover because obviously that's slow.
Yeah.
A Shepherd is a Spectre that does not believe in cover. Alright, we're good. That wasn't too bad.
I do want to.
Alrighty, so that's the scary missions for me out of the way. So now we've recruited all of our squad mates except for one. And then, except for Kazumi, but we'll be grabbing her later. So now we're gonna go off to do, solve everyone's personal problems. Shepard's a good therapist who likes to go fast.
Right here, we're going to be doing Zaid loyalty. Zaid is a, obviously, as we mentioned earlier, a DLC character. And luckily, his DLC mission is actually super, super short. However, it is kind of out of the way. So the reason that we're doing Zaid mission right now is because after we do this mission, we're going to be sent to do the collectorship mission, which is triggered after you finish 5 missions of any variety. Basically, the game progresses and you talk to the elusive man, and we do the collectorship. So by doing the collectorship, the game is going to automatically move our ship. So it's kind of like a little optimization. We kind of go all the way out here to do the Zaid mission just so the game will automatically move our ship afterwards. There's also a... so the Zaid mission is kind of interesting. There's 2 paths you could take for this mission. There is a Paragon path and a Renegade path. The Renegade path is quite a bit faster, so that's what we're going to be doing here. We have to save these factory workers while the Zaid is trying to get revenge. Or we could choose to, just not save the factory workers and help Zaid get his revenge. So helping Zaid is quite a lot faster.
Yeah, if you...
And also, yeah.
If you had to do the Paragon option, you have to pass a Paragon check, which, spoilers, my Shepherd has pretty much no Paragon points. Specifically because we actually want to be either fully Renegade or fully Paragon for the speedrun. For a mechanic that we'll be seeing a little bit later. So I'm going to try to do this charge. Nice. Not the most ideal charge, but it's fine. I'm going to kill this annoying little mercenary here. And this elevator here is a little precise. Ooh, that was instant. Or that was pretty much the exact spot. And don't worry, folks, it's okay if Zaid or Miranda take the L here. They'll be back very soon. So yeah, we're gonna go through a couple more cutscenes here, and we will not be saving the factory workers because it's slower.
Yeah, another reason that we're also going to be doing the Renegade option is because we do get an AR option for doing the Renegade path. Normally, you would get a heavy weapon upgrade option if you do the Paragon option. So on top of Renegade being faster, you also get an AR upgrade. So there's not really any reason to ever do the Paragon option.
The Paragon option gives you a heavy ammo's weapons upgrade.
Yeah, it is useful for potentially a new game route because you have to get you have to get 3 heavy weapon upgrades to get the cane, and there's only 2 heavy weapon upgrades you can get before Horizon in the base game. So you can get the 3rd one from Zaid to potentially get the cane like literally automatically. It's really, really nice. But yeah, for New Game Plus, we just go Renegade here.
Yeah, I think we forgot to mention as well, but so this is going to specifically target the collectorship. Spawning the collectorship mission requires you to either do 5 missions, but you also need to recruit a total of 8 squad mates. So in any percent categories, you would get your 8 squad mate, which would be Kazumi, or if you're doing No One Left Behind, Tally. And we would do basically 5 missions, which can be loyalty or filler and 7 missions. And then that's the end of the Zaid mission.
The elusive man wishes to speak to you.
Tim,
right.
I call Tim, aka the elusive man, but I call him Tim. Wants to talk to us, and then we're like, yeah, sure. Basically, the plot of this mission is that they found potential collector technology that we can use, but obviously, it looks like there's nothing happening, but as we all know, for plot convenience, it's probably a trap.
So yeah, normally the collectorship mission, the beginning right here, it's just going to be a lot of running. It looks abandoned. However, surely this collectorship is abandoned, But yeah, at the beginning of this collectorship, you actually get access to weapon training. It's the only weapon training you get in the entire game. You could choose to spec your character into shotties, assault rifles, or snipers. And if you're already trained, your class is already trained in one of those specs, then you can get like a super version of one of those weapons. However, this is normally in a new game run where you would get access to assault rifles because assault rifles are just the best due to the Maddock. And yeah, this is like, because we are playing a new game plus character, like it doesn't actually do anything right there.
Yeah, in new game we would use the GEF plasma shotgun, assuming it's a DLC variant, until we get the Maddock. The GEF plasma shotgun is still perfectly fine, but it's just not as good as the Maddock.
Commander, you gotta hear this. On a hunch, I asked ED to run an analysis on this ship.
So yeah, once we get to this like little platform coming up right here, it's going to initiate this really long auto-scroller combat section that casually, if you're playing on Insanity, is like really, really hard and also very long and tiring. However, because we are speedrunners, we know of a skip to get past this entire auto-scroller segment.
Shepard putting the Spectre in Spectre again, like,
yeah,
killing extra enemies, waste of time, might as well go with her very powerful powers. So I'm gonna do a safety save. This used to be like one of the hardest tricks to do, but thankfully it's not too bad now that we can do a little skip here.
Yeah, so by doing an elevator right here and a double melee abuse over here, we can basically just drop down to the ceiling of the next room over here. You're gonna see Sanjan pulling out the cane right here, and we're gonna do kind of a cool strat right here. So by charging our cane and dropping at this specific angle right here, we can just insta-kill the boss as soon as we hit that voice line, which spawns it. As you're seeing right there, we basically just like frame one kill this boss, similar to the boss on Horizon.
Yeah, that part is, like this entire mission is just like really hard casually, especially on the highest difficulty, and we basically, we solve all the problems with the cane, but pretty soon here we'll be introduced to probably one of the most overpowered enemies. Thankfully, we only see one on this mission, and we're not required to kill it. But we are introduced to an enemy called the Scion, and they have very powerful shockwaves and, I think Barrier Burst. I don't know what the second ability is called, but it basically sucks casually. Because
Yeah,
they're also, like, extremely tanky.
The Scions are, like, by far, I would say, the most overtuned enemy in the entire game. On Insanity, they are just an absolute nightmare to deal with. But even on Casual, they are, like, super tanky. And as you saw right there, just one shot from them, just put her straight into her health, just got rid of her shields immediately. They are just super, super strong and just really annoying to deal with. Especially once we get to the higher levels as they keep getting tankier.
I have also determined the approximate location of the Collector homeworld.
Yeah, so they grabbed, like, the information from the Collector ship, and they're like, oh yeah, there's a Dead Reaper we could grab, but that's the Reaper IFF mission, and if you're playing it casually, don't do it immediately.
Yeah, doing the Reaper IFF mission, which we just got right here, will basically give us a soft point of no return, where if we do 2 more missions after that, the Collectors will basically invade us, and the game, it's basically the game telling you, okay, you need to go do the suicide mission now, which obviously we don't want to do. We got a lot of stuff we still got to take care of. So we're going to leave the Reaper IFF for a little bit later.
Yeah. So now we're going to go through a couple more loyalty missions here. I'm going to go back here and take a little shortcut to the mass relay. We're going to go do Jack's loyalty mission. So, as we mentioned before, Jack is a really powerful biotic, but she was on an unfortunate experiment of Cerberus' shenanigans, and she wants to go to the place where she was basically placed at for experimentation, and basically make the place go kerplow, to say the least.
So we're going to be doing a skip right here at the very beginning of the mission. So by doing an elevator right over there and going on top of the roof of this building, we're actually going to do the skip a little bit differently. We're going to make a quick save towards the edge of this roof and then quick load it. And that's going to basically just make us fall into the building, and that's going to skip like the entire initial part of this mission, where we normally have to go through a bunch of hallways and like stairwells and all that. So it saves quite a bit of time actually. And now we're basically on the middle point of the mission, I would say, where we have to deal with a bunch of enemies. Thankfully, the Jack mission is actually super short. It's actually one of the missions we do in the No One Left Behind category, which is basically any percent, except we just get the good ending, so it's about like 7 minutes slower than any percent. And Jack is just a nice squad mate to have loyal to us, just so she can fulfill a position on the suicide mission. But yeah, we just have to do it anyways, regardless, on this category. Ooh.
Thank you, guys.
This guy's kind of griefing. There we go, nice.
Oh, this is it's not a puzzle I'm used to.
Yeah, we got a little bit of double stack right here.
Yeah, no, double stack.
Yeah, there we go, nice.
Double stack the little puzzle here, not too bad. Alright, alright, little scary part here, because there's a lot of enemies here that can mess with us. Hopefully, I don't get trolled. So we basically this is basically the OG version, just because you can do a bunch of glitches, for the most part. The Legendary Edition doesn't allow you to use most of these glitches. They're basically patch. So, you can't, there are basically runs of Legendary Edition as well, but generally generally the original version is just more popular, just because it's very glitchy and you get to do a lot of really fun stuff. Also, these...
Ooh, I don't think I've ever seen this elevator before.
Anyways,
So yeah, there are a couple of elevators that can happen, that if you go too close to a wall or something, you'll just get Shepard stuck. The elevator glitch can be used to skip quite a lot of content, but it could also be a little bit of a hindrance. That is actually a reason this glitch is kind of problematic for more casual players, at least this version of the game is. Just because it's very easy to accidentally soft lock yourself if you don't know about melee abuses.
Yeah. Also, because we skipped the pre-rendered cutscenes, try not to look at Jack's eyes.
Yeah, so normally we have a bunch of pre-rendered cutscenes playing here. However, the speedrun mod that we're using basically just removes those pre-rendered cutscenes. However, the game cannot progress basically until like the entire duration of that original pre-rendered cutscene has been played. So we just get to see what's going on in-game with the in-game models here. And as you'll see right here, their eyes get a little bit funky.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't actually save any time to like skip these pre-rendered cutscenes, as you can see. It's just basically for the sake of making our live split timer work.
Oh yeah, basically these two here get into a fight over Cerberus shenanigans with Jack, and we just basically go tell him to touch grass.
Yeah.
So I think how the alignment works is that you have to be like more aligned towards like Paragon or Renegade. So you can't like be equally Paragon and Renegade, so that's why we choose full Renegade for the speedrun, or else we're not able to keep their loyalty. But we're basically going to go fetch a bunch of loyalty missions. We're going to fetch Samara, Stains, and Grunts, and Tallies.
Yeah, so at this point, we're basically far enough into the game, progression-wise, to just grab all the loyalty missions. Like, none of them are locked anymore. So we're just going to basically be doing that all here in one trip, just so we don't have to come back down here. There is, however, one squad mate that we're not going to get until very late into the game that we are going to come back down for. However, everything else we're grabbing like right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that companion is also locked behind the Reaper IFF mission.
Shepard.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little clip here to get directly to the elevator, because we like taking shortcuts. Or a ghost.
Are we doing the Jacob loyalty mission next?
Yes. So we'll be doing the Jacob loyalty mission next. I think... So basically, oops, I forgot.
Yeah, so
fun fact, I believe this is the only planet scanning we do in the entire category.
So yeah, basically, Jacob's dad has been lost after his ship crashed, and Jacob wants to find him, and like they're kind of estranged, and like he kind of wants to like resolve his relationship with his dad and all that. However, we found out that his dad is like not a good person at all. He is actually quite a terrible person. This mission is actually super dark lore wise. It's very, very dark, I would say, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty up there. Well, Mass Effect 2 is much darker than Mass Effect 1 in general. it's sort of a Empire Strikes Back kind of feel, whereas Mass Effect 1 is kind of like a New Hope.
Yeah, so I know Lana wants to take us a break right here. This mission is basically just us walking around a lot right here. We're going to use a quick save, quick load right here to skip this NPC dialogue. But the rest of this is just going to be us basically just kind of holding W to the end of the mission if you want to go ahead and like take a break, Lana.
Yeah, I'll actually get you to stop exactly where you are and we'll pause the timer. So we're just going to take a quick 5-minute break here for wellness. So make sure you get up and stretch, fill up your water bottles, whatever you need. We'll catch you right after this break. Stick around for more awesome Mass Effect 2. Take care. I hope you've been enjoying Mass Effect 2 with Sanjin. I hope you enjoyed your lovely break as well. Stretch your legs, get some water, whatever you needed. So we're getting back into Mass Effect 2, all loyalty missions. You want to count us down, Sanjin?
Yep. I hope everyone enjoyed the little scenery here. Without further ado, we'll get continue started. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's continue. So basically, the glitch that I did a little bit earlier is I don't know that there's a specific name for it, but basically, if you save and load and then spam like the interact button or like the mouse wheel, that basically kind of like deloads some of the NPCs. Which means that we can skip that cutscene there where they're like, oh no, there's someone hunting me down.
Yeah, it just like bugs out the NPC and they just don't want to talk to you, which in that case saves us time because we don't have to watch a cutscene.
Alright, I will not elevator here again like the 500 times I do that.
Nice.
You can just elevator through those crates here so you don't have to kill them all. And then this is going to be like a pretty precise skip that I have to do. This cane shot is probably, honestly, the hardest cane shot to do.
So something we haven't really talked about yet with the cane is that it does a lot of damage and has a very wide range. It does like one burst of damage basically. And that damage can actually hit Shepard as well. And if you do not have your shields up, because you kind of have like a little bit of invincibility after you lose your shields, if you do not have your shields up, the cane will just kill you. So Sanjan is going to back up after doing that cane shot right there, because otherwise she will die, and that'll cost us a bunch of time. It's really hard in that room because you're taking a ton of damage, and like it's so easy to die. Also, remember to wake up Jacob here.
Yeah, for whatever reason, if Jacob dies, you can't talk to his dad.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's best that we go too into the specifics about what Jacob's dad has done. He is just a not very good person, and by just dealing with him, Jacob is now ready for the suicide mission.
Yeah, so now next up we're gonna do Tally's loyalty mission. Basically, Tally is in trouble because his dad or her dad did some also war crimes, and so she is gonna be on trial, and we have to kind of resolve that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the missions, like a lot of loyalty missions in this game, ironically enough, are just like about like a character's dad is a pretty awful person, and that character just trying to reconcile with that.
SSV family issues.
Yeah.
This is Talizora Vasnima Naraya.
Yeah, we also lose some pre-rendered cutscenes, but it's not as cool.
Yeah, so the Tali loyalty mission, I think, is the shortest one in the entire game, or it's very close to being the shortest in the entire game. So normally, we're gonna have to watch like a pretty lengthy cutscene here at the beginning where Tali is accused of being a traitor to her people, and we have to basically like offer to help prove her innocence. However, we're basically just going to skip all that using the same glitch that we used on the previous mission. So before we talk to this NPC right here, we're going to go ahead and make a quick save and a quick load real fast. And then by doing that and then talking to this NPC, it's basically going to allow us to skip this entire cutscene. There we go. Very nice.
Yeah, you see in the back there, they're all kind of in formation.
Yeah, the NPCs, you skip the cutscene so fast that the NPCs are not put into the right position, so that they are all just kind of like lined up. It's very funny looking if you have not seen it. So yeah, by skipping that cutscene, we're just immediately going to go get the job done. We're going to go find Tali's dad and, you know, help get this situation settled. This ship has been invaded by Geth, who are this sentient robot race we mentioned earlier, who are basically... there's a giant, huge beef between Quarians and Geth. There's a lot of bad blood between the two. Oh, unlucky. So yeah, we're just going to try to resolve this situation very, very fast, as we are speedrunners at the end of the day.
Rude.
So normally, right here, unfortunately, we're going to find out that Tali's dad is not with us anymore. And Tali's going to be sad. And I think we're going to do the Paragon option here. The required Paragon option.
We're going to keep everyone happy and we're going to give her a hug. Normally, it's actually like 10 seconds faster to skip this.
Yeah, we actually found a way to skip even like hearing this voice line where she's all sad. If you just mash M1 there, I think as you're listening to Tali like mourn her dad, it just immediately skips the voice line for whatever reason. It even skips the interrupt prompt. I don't know why it does that. It's the only interrupt prompt in the game that does that for whatever reason.
And yeah, everyone's just going to be like, oh, they were there for a couple hours, but we were there for, I don't know, like a minute or so.
Yeah, we get the job done fast here.
All right, so I got to make sure I don't mess with this dialogue.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
I can't believe you.
Yeah, so right there, we're going to choose the Renegade option. Both the Paragon and the Renegade options are quite a bit faster here than any other option. But also, we have to be very careful about what dialogue option we actually choose there, because if you choose incorrectly, Tali does not become loyal to us, and you technically do fail the mission.
I wasn't gonna let Tali Zora bump.
Yeah, if you choose to give the information about her dad to them, she basically doesn't become loyal. If you allow her to become exiled, she's still loyal. And I think the Renegade option, if I recall, is just basically saying, well, she didn't do anything wrong, therefore she's innocent. And they're like, okay, sure. And then, so now we're going to do Samara's loyalty, well, quote-unquote, Samara's loyalty mission. I wish to apologize to all Samara fans in advance. We will not be saving Samara.
Yeah,
we will be grabbing Morph instead.
Yeah, so this mission is kind of odd for a loyalty mission. So this mission and the Thane mission basically are non-combat missions. We basically just have to do a bunch of dialogue. Thane's mission is going to involve a pretty long auto-scroller, as we will mention as we get to it. So for this one, we basically have to lure Samara's daughter, Morinth, into being interested in Shepard, because she's kind of like this Ardot Yakshi, which is like this Asari succubus, basically, that Samara needs to kill because Morinth is basically on a rampage, just killing a ton of innocent people.
Yeah, so normally you have to talk to Arya there to gain access to the place so that we can just basically clip and get inside. And then I have to be very careful with this dialogue because it's very easy to mess up.
Yeah.
The dialogue... You're not really fighting combat here, but you're fighting against the dialogue wheel.
The dialogue wheel in this game, for whatever reason, is like at 5,000 DPI at all times. It is so sensitive. You have to be so careful about what options you're choosing here. Especially this part right here. If you choose the wrong options, Morinth just walks off because she thinks you're lame. But yeah, there we go. Nice. That was super optimal.
Yeah.
So yeah, for all the Morinth enjoyers right here. So if you choose either the Paragon or the Renegade option here, Morinth is not able to mind control you, and you get to choose between who gets to go with you. And we always choose Morinth now instead of Samara. Morinth basically replaces Samara as your squad mate and immediately becomes loyal to you. Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's a very odd mission. Morinth is almost like a meme choice left in by the devs. But yeah, Morinth is a lot faster than Samara due to the fact that she teleports you immediately to the Normandy, which saves like 40 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, if you pick Samara, you have to take the 35 second walk of shame back to the ship. But with Morinth, you can basically immediately go there. Oh, that's rude. I didn't get the skip.
Yeah, I got stopped by the Turian cop.
You need anything else, let me know.
Alright, so now we're going to be talking.
Yes.
Now we're going to start Thane's loyalty mission here. So basically, Thane is the parent issue. His son is basically, his son, I think, is kind of, Thane wasn't a very good parent to Kolyat, who's the son, and he finds out that his son is trying to assassinate some Tyrian politician, and he's like, no, we can't have that. That's, assassinating people bad. And then Shepard's like, okay, we'll go stop him from assassinating people and tell him to live a normal life.
Just don't bring the family.
Don't bring the family. So we're basically trying to find out who he's trying to assassinate here. And this is a very, very big reason why Renegade Shepard, aka Jerk Shepard, is very fast. Because we have to do an interrogation here, and Shepard is quite literally going to speedrun the interrogation.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, there is a very high Renegade check you could pass here for this interrogation, and if you choose it at the beginning of the interrogation, you basically just skip the entire sequence. So yeah, saves quite a lot of time.
Oh my. Yeah, it's also very easy to mess up the dialogue here.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. Alright, so basically we're going to pick the Renegade option, which is... There's no Paragon, there's only Renegade here. We're just going to say, I'm a Spectre, LOL, and he's like, okay. I sent him to assassinate, and Thane is like, wow, Shepard, you literally speedran the entire thing. Are you a speedrunner?
Yeah. So we find out that the person Thane's son is trying to assassinate is this super racist Turian politician. And we're basically just going to be doing this pretty prolonged auto-scroller segment right here, where we just follow him around.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no skip for this.
There is a quote-unquote skip, but, like, there's actually Sanjan found a much easier way to do it.
Yeah, it's basically about 3 minutes of riveting content, so... And there's going to be another section where it's, like, riveting content, so, folks, if you have questions about the speedrun... or anything like that, or about Mass Effect stuff, feel free to ask. Or if, Lena, if you want to jump in with anything, it's literally 2 more minutes of, like, boring content.
I love the slow walk. Yeah, I always ask this question to every single runner, but I'm just curious, what got you into the run, and just what do you love about the game in general?
So I'm a big Mass Effect fan. I'm a fan of the lore and the characters as well. I just love BioWare games. Like, I was raised with BioWare games. And so I have a very deep and affectionate love for it. But I actually primarily speedrun turn-based RPGs. I think a lot of you might be surprised, but I started speedrunning, like, Octopath Traveler, which is a turn-based Japanese RPG. And I also speedrun Pokemon, which is also a turn-based RPG. And so I started running a Knights of the Old Republic, which is a Western kind of turn-based-ish RPG, but this Mass Effect is basically like very shootery, and this speedrun is very much like out of my comfort zone. So I kind of wanted to learn a run that I really liked, but was out of my comfort zone. And fun fact, I cannot play shooter games at all, really. So... the best romance option is general opinion, but for me, my personal favorite character in Mass Effect of all time is Kaidan. I love his personality. He has like a really unique male character archetype that you honestly don't see very often in a lot of games, and I really like his personality and like his growth over the course of the game. And basically, like, unfortunately, the game doesn't really tie much in it, but like there's a lot of stuff that's just like biotics, and I feel like I resonate with him really well. So yeah, Kaidan's my very favorite character. Unfortunately, we don't see him in Mass Effect 2, especially not in the speedrun.
You do see Kaidan quite a bit though if you run Mass Effect 1.
Yeah,
he's a very good squad mate in that game.
He's a very good squad mate in Mass Effect 1, and I think you can use him in Mass Effect 3 as well.
Yeah, he's also an insanely good squad mate in Mass Effect 3.
Casually, he is so good in Mass Effect 3, like right next to Garrus. Unfortunately, Garrus isn't really the best squad mate in 2, but they make up for it in 3.
Thane. I saw. He's heading to Tali's apartment.
Oh yeah, fun little glitch. Alright, we basically fixed Thane's problems. Fun fact.
Yep, so that's that segment done. So now we're going to be moving on to the actual fun loyalty mission, which is the Garrus one. The Garrus mission is basically he wants to get revenge. So before we met up with him again on Omega, Garrus had like a mercenary band that he was leading to deal with all the other mercenary bands, basically. And he was betrayed by someone on his team, and he basically wants revenge on them. And he's going to try to find his forger on the Citadel, who is helping this traitor out.
I just got a refund.
So first things first, we need to go to this little meeting right here.
Yeah, you don't actually have to talk to Bailey to progress the mission. Cool little cutscene. Unfortunately, we skip it. I think the Renegade option for that is slower.
It took me a long time to get this refund. It's a decision.
I failed her.
But yeah, this mission is very, very fast-paced, and there's going to be a pretty cool skip that we're going to do here. This used to be, like, casually speaking, I would say this is, like, a pretty tough mission, actually, because there's a lot of mechs that you have to deal with here, like heavy mechs, which, at this point in the game, are going to be very, very tanky for you. So, we're, first things first, going to be charging an enemy in the back right here, just to get around a little bit faster. Nice.
Right, yeah, we're gonna be doing a clip here in a second that skips a lot of the really annoying parts of this run.
Yeah, by elevatoring up into this like void like platform up here, we can run along this area right here, and this is going to avoid all the enemy spawns that would normally like be happening right here, and allow us to interact with this bridge like immediately, rather than like having to kill all the enemies in the room. Nice.
So I'm gonna do a pretty precise cane shot here that will hopefully kill everyone.
Yeah, this is
If not, I
also
will
a
be
pretty
sorely
tough,
annoyed.
it is also a pretty tough biotic shot or cane shot right here.
Nice, I think I got it.
Now we have to deal with this heavy mech. So these heavy mechs to get like dropped in basically. If you use any damaging ability on them while they're being moved in, they'll just like clip through the little crane holding them and just like fall into a death plane and just immediately die, which we're gonna exploit a little bit right here to go a little bit faster.
And there's gonna be 2 more here that we're going to basically cheese. I think I got both of them.
Yeah. Nice. Perfect. You don't actually have to deal with either of those mechs. So long as we charge up here, kill these 2 mini mechs, back up a little bit, we can immediately progress right here. But killing those heavy mechs is a little bit safer.
But I don't mind slowing you down.
Yeah. Yeah, so we find out Fade was Harkin, who's a character that we see in Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, except he became like a super bad guy in this game.
Yeah. Also, it's faster to kill Sidonis. Much faster.
All right. And now...
And then now we're...
Oh boy. Woo!
The best mission in the game. Woo! I love it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite loyalty mission ever.
So yeah, so we did the first DLC loyalty mission, which was Zaid. Zaid, thankfully, is pretty fast. However, the Kasumi mission, on the other hand, is pretty problematic for speedruns. Not really because of any content on the run. It's because for whatever reason, this mission specifically is super, super buggy and prone to crashes and infinite load screens. So we're going to just be hoping that those don't happen. Hopefully I'm not jinxing it by saying that. But also, this mission in general is super, super long. It's going to be broken up into 2 segments. We basically have to infiltrate this party first and do a bunch of tasks, like James Bond style, or in this case, Jane Bond. Haha, you know.
And Jane Bond. Funny because the name of my shepherd for the save is Jay Shepherd. I give my shepherds 1-letter names just because it's an offshoot of like Pokemon speedruns where you use one character since one character names are the fastest. Yeah, so basically in a Kazumi mission, yeah, we gotta go do a bunch of, you know, Jane Bondy things. And I have to be very careful because this DLC loves to crash. I think I got it down to basically the amount of saves that you do kind of affecting it, but I'm still really scared of crashes. I do have backup saves for this if it happens, but I have to be very careful.
This mission is...
This game...
Yeah, this mission is easily the scariest part of the run, I would say.
Yeah. The boss fights are also no fun either. Casually, this is actually one of the harder categories since you only have Kazumi, and she's a decent squad mate, but casually, but she's no Miranda.
Yeah.
Or Morden.
So we are quite a bit weaker by default. Also, something that should be mentioned, by this point in the run, we are max level. We are level 30 now. So all the enemies are going to be a lot tankier than they would be at the beginning of the run. So that is something we kind of have to keep in mind.
We're going to climb up here. Oop. And then we basically got to scan some stuff to... Basically, we're trying to recover this data box, which belonged to her former lover. It also contains some information on the Reapers that they found. I'm gonna save and load here. I'm not gonna touch anything because it can break something.
Yeah.
Also see Peep Kazumi's head.
Yeah, bald Kasumi.
We can probably get Hawk's DNA off the data pad. He seems to have obsessed over this. That should do it.
But yeah, we just have to do all these tasks before we can interact with the door that we need to get through. We have tried very, very hard to find skips for this mission. However, we just have not, unfortunately, just have not been able to find anything. So here's the main bad guy of the DLC, Hawk, who is basically like another war criminal dude we just got to deal with. They're kind of dime a dozen in this game. And
I should mention also, I forgot that sometimes when I match the dialogue, you'll hear this kind of buzzing noise.
yeah,
It's just the game saying no to kind of like skipping dialogue.
there's a similar sound in Mass Effect 1 as well.
God, this is I haven't seen this one before.
You can't be back here.
Take him down.
So I'll try to lessen it, but it is a habit for me to spam it.
I have an idea. Got something?
The password is Perusia.
Huh.
And for this part, we only have a pistol. It's not too bad because there's not that many enemies, and this pistol is actually, I believe, casually really good, pretty good, or at least half decent.
Yeah. As mentioned earlier, though, we've been trying to find a skip for this mission that would allow us to immediately go into the second half of the mission. However, unfortunately, because we don't have a weapon here to melee abuse with, it kind of limits what types of skips we can do, since we can't melee abuse when we're elevatoring. And because these two portions of the missions are like basically on completely like different like maps, essentially. So even if we were able to go out of bounds, it wouldn't actually take us anywhere. So it makes this entire mission just like very, very, very long.
Security cams.
Yeah, this next part is also tends to be pretty sketchy, just because the boss fight, it's not hard in itself, but you take a lot of damage here, and it's and like it's very dangerous, and it's probably one of the missions where I had to like very heavily focus just to make sure I don't die. And thankfully, Reeve, which we mentioned before, is a really good ability and very much comes in handy. Also, a little fun cutscene where we get our armor back. It was basically all tucked away in the Saren statue.
Yeah, a little nod to the best villain in the trilogy, I think. But yeah, this second portion right here is basically all going to be combat oriented. We're just going to be going from room to room, dealing with a bunch of mercenary goons, and then ending on a very, very prolonged boss fight, which we'll talk about when we get there.
So basically, this is we made our way to his vault here. Lots of little fun stuff. Some Dragon Age references for those of you who like Dragon Age. See, peep the ogre statue.
This is Hawk's vault. Very nice.
Yeah, so the entire plot of this mission is that basically Kasumi wants to find a gray box, which is just like a box containing like virtual memories of a person. This one belonged to her former lover that is being held by this dude who she kind of hates, who is also just in general a scumbag.
Just like your old friend.
We don't take the renegade option here, it's slower.
Yeah, and he's trapped us here in this vault, so we're just going to be going from room to room to get out here.
Yeah, so I put Kazumi's overload ability on since it's more useful. And we don't really use Miranda's ability anymore. Or Miranda's overload ability anymore.
The overload ability is going to be pretty nice for this combat section coming up here.
Right, I'm also going to be extremely careful with this because I have crashed here before.
But yeah, there's just a room with a heavy mech. And while the heavy mechs were not too bad towards the beginning of the run, at this point at level 30, they are just insanely tanky and take forever to kill. I think it takes like almost like 3 clips of your Maddock to kill them. So very not fun. So we just use a cane to deal with them like very, very fast. As we don't really need the cane for the final boss here. You're going to see why in a moment.
Yeah, there's going to be one more mech coming up, but thankfully you don't have to kill that. But this also a scary part because you're on low HP here. There's a bunch of stuff attacking you. And there's some annoying vanguards around here, but hopefully they don't troll us. And hopefully get some a nice spawn RNG. Ooh, okay, that is
yeah, enemies do a lot of damage at this point.
I'm just gonna be a little safe.
There's some RNG here. Sometimes an enemy, like right there, will appear towards the end by this door that we can charge. But if not, you usually just like reave an enemy so you don't die.
Yeah, that's a little unlucky. Normally I would charge that enemy, but...
Alright, so here we have the boss fight. We have to kill Hawk, who's in this like shielded gunship, which is also pretty tanky at this point in the game. So this boss fight, the way it's going to work is there's just going to be 3 platforms right here that enemies randomly come up on. This first part is normally pretty consistent, though. Sanjan went ahead and took care of the shields on the gunship so that it would go down. Hawk's gunship is insanely strong at this point in the game. So we go ahead and just like try to basically just get him to go away like as fast as possible so that he doesn't insta-kill us.
Yeah, he will spawn right about now. So if you kill the ship ASAP, it's about 7 waves until you go to the second phase.
Yeah.
From what I'd observe. And you have to be very careful here.
So yeah, this first phase of the fight, we can't actually kill the boss immediately. He'll just get the 1 HP on his shields and then just go away until we basically kill enough of these like waves of enemies for Kasumi to do her little cutscene where she like kind of ninja jumps onto the ship and just like destroys it by herself.
As you see here, I took a lot of damage from this ship, and I'm basically depending on Reed to keep me alive.
Yeah. So as we mentioned earlier, if an enemy does not have shields or barriers or armor up, and you use Reeve on them, it'll just siphon life from them and give it to Shepard, which will effectively give us iframes. So there's that cutscene right there. So now the boss is actually vulnerable, as you're going to see right here. We're going to be hoping we get the 1 cycle. Nice.
That was a little scary.
Yeah, as you can see right there, the boss can like immediately just duck and go away, and if he does, you just can't kill him for 45 seconds if you don't get that 1 cycle. So pretty annoying if you do not kill him right there, but that was a nice kill though.
Yeah, if you don't, it loses you a ton of time if you don't get it. And it's like one of the run killers if crashes weren't bad enough.
Goodbye, Kasumi.
And then now we got our gray box here. I think there's a choice here whether or not to like open the gray box or like something like that. I forgot what the choices are.
It's like to allow her to keep it because she's supposed to destroy it, but there's a choice where we offer her to like just keep it. It doesn't matter to the run though.
Alrighty, so now we got that comedy over. Now we just don't need to crash. I intentionally just go to 0 here. It just launches you to it emergency jumps you to a fuel station, and it costs supplies, which thankfully we have plenty of. It's not a big issue. But now we're off to do the last couple set of missions here for a little bit.
Yeah,
we're gonna grab a grunt.
We're going to the Krogan homeworld now. This is where we do both Grunt's loyalty mission along with Morden's loyalty mission, and we're going to take care of Grunt's first. So, again, word of warning for all the Rex enjoyers in chat. It is unfortunately faster to play on a character where Rex dies in Mass Effect 1, so we don't have to talk to him here, and we talk to his brother instead, who is the clan leader, and like it is just a lot faster if we don't have to talk to Rex.
Yeah, you use like a little over a minute if you have Rex alive, because there's a bunch of cutscenes where he's greeting Shepard. You know, as a Rex enjoyer, it's very unfortunate, but that's just how it is sometimes with speedruns. I'm gonna do this clip here to get immediately to the top.
Ooh, yeah, this one could be a little bit problematic. Nice.
Aliens don't know strength.
Unfortunately, the grunt mission is also pretty sleeper.
Yeah, so the grunt mission, I think everyone who I've talked to about this game with, we all seem like it's universally agreed upon that like the grunt mission is like the worst one casually, and it's the worst in the speedrun, we should say as well. Not because it's hard or anything, like it's actually very, very simple. We're just going to be standing in this arena and killing enemies as they come in. It is a very long auto-scroller that we cannot skip, unfortunately.
Yeah, these Varans just basically go in one by one to their deaths. You also notice I bound the concussion shot since we're not going to use Kazumi, and it's pretty useful for this portion of the mission. So, extremely riveting content for the next like 5 minutes. Once we get to the ending part, it's a little bit more exciting.
Yeah.
And I also have to order them around here, so if you want to ask more questions to either of us about the speedrun, feel free to. It's literally riveting content.
Yeah, this is like the part of the run where you got to try very hard not to fall asleep. I'm sorry I interrupted you, Lana.
Totally okay. I was just curious, if people are looking to get into speedrunning this game, what would be the best way to do so?
We have a Discord, so we have the BioWare speedrunning Discord. So it encompasses most BioWare games, aside from Knights of the Old Republic, and I believe Neverwinter Nights and Baldur's Gate and Jade Empire. They have their own separate Discords, but this is primarily for like the Mass Effect and Dragon Age community. So we're a pretty small group of speedrunners at least in the Mass Effect section, but we're pretty dedicated to the cause.
Yeah, you could check out the speedrun.com/me2. That'll take you to our board, and we have a resources tab there along with a guides tab. I made a any percent guide like about a year ago. It's kind of out of date, but it's still pretty solid, I would say, overall. And we have like a spreadsheet filled with video tutorials on how to do like every skip in the game, which is also very useful if you ever want to learn this game. Like, we have tons and tons of resources for learning this run, which is thankfully pretty accessible, I would say, overall.
Yeah, I would. My personal opinion is that Mass Effect 1 is, I'd say, slightly more accessible than 2, at least in my perspective, because it's more like RPG, especially like the New Game Plus category for Mass Effect 1, but Mass Effect 2 is also relatively very accessible. If you don't like, any percent is seeing your favorite characters die, but if you don't like seeing that, it's perfectly fine. You can do the No One Left Behind category. So we got more riveting content because it's just this flame spewing, I don't know what they're called, crawlers. There's 7 waves of them. There's 2 of them that appear at once, and also sleeper content. And yeah, you can skip recruiting one of either Rex or Garrus in Mass Effect 1. I believe in like Legendary Edition, because you can't really recruit, you can't really do most of the skips. You skip recruiting, at least in a quote-unquote glitchless run, I guess. You would skip recruiting Rex, because Rex gives you a lot of extra cutscenes on one of the planets. So yeah, as you see, this is extremely exciting content. So okay, about a minute and a half to go.
But yeah, it's like not even like, this part would be kind of cool if we could kill these like giant flying like beasts right here, but we just have to kill these like little dudes they leave behind. Yeah, thankfully also the game has like infinite ammo like respawns here. Otherwise this part would be actually kind of annoying because we would actually have to use weapons besides the Maddock.
Yeah. And so I think we're on their 4th wave or something like that.
Yeah, so I could explain very fast what's going on. Like, so Grunt is like basically a teenager, actually, despite what it looks like, in terms of like Krogan age. And he's basically going through his own version of puberty. And he has like an urge to go back to Tuchanka and basically to perform this ritual right here where he just has to kill a ton of enemies. It's supposed to be by himself, but he's allowed to bring this intergalactic super soldier with him. That makes the entire thing kind of easy, actually.
To be fair, the first like 2 waves are like, or first 2 sets, it is like complete joke. I don't know why they call this the Rite of Passage. I can see more of it if you're alone, but as it says, you're bringing a super soldier and a very well trained Cerberus operative, or like Cerberus leader. So I mean, you know. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I don't know if we mentioned this, but the speedrunner mod also gives you increased frame of view. So we're playing at 105 FOV right now.
Yeah,
doesn't really. It's more like convenience reasons.
Yeah, it doesn't actually give you an in-game advantage at all. You can actually do all the skips in the game like exactly the same with like 20 FOV. I've tested it. We just do it because like the base FOV, which is like around 60, was made for when this game was like, you know, a 360 game primarily. You know, it's kind of nauseating to play at that FOV, so we just allow people to play at like basically whatever FOV they want. Most of us just play at 105 though.
As you see here, so this is a more exciting part. We're gonna face against a Thresher Maul here. Really?
Yeah.
And then, so you'll notice I saved and load here. This lowers the Thresher Maul's defenses for whatever reason. Sort of a mercy kind of thing.
Oh, that's
and
pretty
we basically killed it.
Oh, did we?
Did it dig down? I'm pretty sure we killed it. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so basically, no one since Rex has killed the Thresher Maul, but you know we basically made short work of it, thanks to the good old Kane. And then basically, these I think they're clan Gatatog. They're kind of like pissed at the Grunt, and then
ooh.
That's unfortunate. That's fine.
Uh-oh. We should
That's
be
fine.
good
That's
here.
fine. Yeah.
This is actually a very good moment to talk about like a secondary effect the charge has that I think we forgot to mention. If you charge at an enemy, the game will actually give you like your shields back partially, which is actually super, super good for helping to survive a lot of stuff. So if you ever notice like you're in danger and you're a Vanguard, you could just charge again to basically stun an enemy from the impact and then get some of your shields back. It's something we do at some points later into the run just for survivability, basically.
Yeah, that was a little sketchy there because I didn't mean to, or I let them get too close to me. Those Krogan enemies, of course, are dangerous when they're at far range, so it's okay. We didn't die. That's what matters. And so now here we're gonna do the Morden loyalty mission here, and we are not gonna be. We're gonna be this is a very glitchy level, pretty much. We're basically gonna glitch to the end.
This is a very cool skip overall, I would say. That was found a while ago by Jade. But it's been optimized very heavily now, so we can skip most of this mission.
Yeah, so we have to do part of this mission a little normally. We're just charging through people. But basically, Morden finds out that one of his, I guess, colleagues or something like that has been helping the Krogans, like, with the... doing something with the genophage that is basically pretty sketchy. Oh, I did not see that Morden and Miranda are already dead. That's unfortunate. That's okay.
You're going to see it's not really going to matter overall in the end, though.
Yeah. And so, you know, we got to investigate that. And it's actually probably one of the most important missions to do, like, story-wise. I had to do it this way. Okay, that's fine. I didn't think I would fall down there. Yeah, so basically, I think I was talking about the plot, right, for Morden?
Yeah.
He's basically... You can go. I gotta do this.
All right, yeah. So as Sanjin is doing this huge skip to get to the end right here. So basically what's going on is that Morden used to have a student. He is a professor, by the way. He used to have a student named Malin who we believe has been kidnapped by this rival Krogan-like gang clan, basically, to find a cure for the genophage, which is basically this synthetic disease made for Krogans. It's not something we really talked about. It has less emphasis in this game compared to Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 3, but it is like a very big lore thing, which is basically just made it so the Krogans like just had to practice eugenics, basically. It's pretty dark, actually. And we find out right here that Malin was actually not captured. He willingly was trying to find a cure for the genophage that was made to control the Krogan population, and we're gonna let Morden kill him right there, because Morden, at this point, Morden has some very problematic opinions, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's also faster to just let him die, because, of course, taking a Paragon option is slower, but we've done almost everybody's loyalty missions now, so now we're off to do the Reaper IFF.
Yeah, also where we found our most recent skip about a week ago, actually.
Yeah, this is one's probably the most recent one that we found. So I'm going to grab Morden and Miranda here. Also, don't look at Joker's eyes.
Yeah, this is where you
more
get
pre-rendered cutscene madness.
Yeah, this is where you get to see the speedrun mod do some funky stuff. This doesn't save any time, however.
Good job, Joker. Doing my best. The wind's gusting to 500 kph.
Yeah, so basically, as we alluded to before with the collector ship, we found information about a dead Reaper where we can grab, like, pretty special information from.
Yeah, so normally in the 80% run, we would do Reaper IFF. This is like the next big major story event, like mission that starts the soft point of no return. We would normally do this on 80% right after the collector ship, which is like probably like 35 minutes into the run. Here we don't start it until the end. Just
no,
so we
Joker.
don't start. Yeah, don't look. I had a hurricane, huh? But yeah, we save it for the end here because we also pick up our last squad mate here, which is Legion, who is a Geth that is actually friendly to us. So first things first, Sanjan is going to be doing a very big skip right here. This is a skip we found last week, where we basically abused the attack menu to send us into a cutscene trigger that teleports us to the next part of the map here. Because this mission basically is set in the two halves, basically, and we're just going to teleport ourselves into the second half right here.
Yeah, this is a very precise skip. It's pretty easy to mess up because the timing's like a little unique. So hopefully we'll get this first try. And if you fail it, you basically die and have to restart. So I'm going to try to focus here for a second.
Yeah, I'm going to let Sanjan focus here.
Oh,
unlucky.
I did it too soon. It's fine. We'll just go through it again.
All right, so what Sanjan is trying to do here is she's trying to use the attack menu. She's trying to time it so that she can avoid this death plane that is over here by that cutscene trigger. We're falling into it, basically. However, there's a death plane, like, right above it. And a funny thing about the attack menu in this game is if you have the attack menu open as you're passing a death plane, it won't actually kill your character, which we can abuse right here. Nice.
Nice. Okay, I got it. It's basically, you can kind of quote-unquote cheat death. Yeah, Shepard's got a lot of powers.
Because, yeah, normally what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to go to the left over there, and we're supposed to open this door that has a puzzle, and then we're supposed to wait for some voice lines to play before we get to this cutscene. However, by just dropping into it and avoiding that death plane, we save like 25 seconds, I want to say, over like the vanilla method.
That's the first time I charged on a husk in a while. Yeah, so this is another very scary part here.
Yeah. This part is like a part that you can like lose runs to on any percent, I want to say, very easily. All right. Nice. Okay, yeah, you're basically on a time limit there to do that puzzle because that Scion, basically if you're in the middle of a puzzle at all and you take any form of damage, the game will just immediately take you out of the puzzle and you have to do it again. And right here, we're going to use the cane to just one-shot this boss right here. Normally, this is a boss that takes a while. You have to do it in different phases because it has like a health-gated health bar, basically. For whatever reason, the cane just completely bypasses those health gates, so it just immediately dies, which saves a ton of time. And now,
I remember to save legions, because if we don't do that, this run is invalidated, technically. So we're going to grab all 3 of the upgrades here. So for the suicide mission component, we have to grab upgrades or else our poor squad mates can die. Technically, we can let them die, but it's just faster to grab those ship upgrades because those cutscenes don't play and we get to save them. So it's everyone can be happy. Everyone lives, except for Samara. I'm sorry, Samara fans.
Can you understand?
And because we're going to get Legion here, and because he's the only person left, which we haven't done the loyalty mission, we can just instantly grab his loyalty mission.
Yep.
And it's also probably one of the most coolest tricks. A little bit of a warning for motion sickness, part 2.
Yeah. So this is a skip that was found about a year ago by my buddy Zirian. That allows us to basically completely bypass this mission. Normally, it's a pretty lengthy mission overall where we go through a ton of hallways, have to kill a ton of Geth enemies, and just do this very lengthy auto-scroller segment. However, this mission has something going on with it physics-wise that no other mission has, which is there is low gravity on this mission, which we can actually abuse to get directly to the end of the level right here.
Yeah, you get to see the fun dialogue with Joker imitating doing the robot. But so if I do, so this is the mission where having a free wheel scroll mouse has a very distinct advantage over macro because you cannot do this with a macro for whatever reason.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a pretty funny glitch here that's not used on any other part of the game because of the low gravity. Where if we position, so we're going to do an elevator to get on top of this like little railing right here. And we're going to position one of our squad mates over here onto a very precise spot right here. It's about, yeah, right there.
And then I just need to aim myself. And this aiming can be a little precise here. I think I got it.
We clear this part, I think we're good. Yeah, nice. Okay. So yeah, what's going on right here is that if you bounce after dropping on top of a squad mate and then just keep meleeing, because of the low gravity, Shepard never gets locked into a falling animation. Thus, you can just keep meleeing over and over again, and combined with the low gravity, the melee will just keep giving us like horizontal momentum, basically. And we can use this to effectively just fly across this map right here. And we've actually lined ourselves up so that we are flying directly to the door that ends the mission. It is a very massive skip. It might be the biggest skip in the game, honestly.
Yeah, so apologies to the screen here. You're going to be seeing this for like the next 30 more seconds or so, but we basically just insta-skip to the end of the mission.
But yeah, TLDR of what's going on with Legion's loyalty mission is that there's like basically separate factions of Geth, some of whom want to bring the Reapers back that are referred to as heretics, and Legion's faction basically wants us to invade this heretic station to deal with them. However, like, we are not actually going to do any of that. We are going to do the speedrun method. As you can see right here, we're kind of flying over to this portion right here, and this looks pretty good. Nice.
Yes, very solid. And then so we get part 2 of basically telling people to touch grass. So Tally and Legion get into an argument. I think it's because Legion like scanned Tally's Omni tool for information, and we just basically tell them to please touch grass and get over yourselves. In a jerk renegade fashion.
But yeah, so basically if your Paragon or Renegade is not high enough to hit either of those checks, then you'll have to choose someone's side in the argument. It applies also to the Jack and Miranda argument. And then the person who you side with will stay loyal and the other person will like become unloyal to you. There is kind of a second chance mechanic where you can go talk to that person who you wronged again and like, you know, calm them down and they become loyal again. But obviously all kind of slow, and we have to keep everyone loyal here for the end, as the category requires.
Yeah, like I said, it's why we go 100% Renegade or Paragon. Like, the way it's scaled is a little bit weird.
For you to be able to pick also, probably the biggest eye warning right here. Look away if you do not like this effect. But yeah, gaze into the abyss with Joker.
Oh no. I mean, to be fair, he's seen a lot of stuff that Shepard's doing. I think everyone would be, a little scared because Shepard's been like warping through walls, infinite jumping across, the astral plane or whatever you like to call it. And yeah, for plot convenience, every single one of Shep and squad mate and co go to this mission, and the Normandy's very vulnerable. And they, of course, and also convenience, they attack the ship and kidnap everyone. Yeah. Except for Joker.
I think writing-wise, this is probably the silliest part of the game because it's just like Shepard and every single squad mate are like, all right, we're going to leave the ship to you guys with nobody to defend it. All right, good luck, GLHF. And then they just get like attacked immediately. It's kind of odd. But yeah, pretty short like meme section we got right here where we this is like I think one of the only 2 parts in the entire trilogy where we control someone else that is not Shepard. I think the other one is the mech on the Arrival DLC, and there's also a bit of ME3 where you can control a mech. But yeah, we play as Joker here, who is our pilot, voiced by Seth Green. And Joker has brittle bone disease, basically, that makes it so his bones are not very strong, so he cannot be very physical or active. As you can see, he's having some trouble like running here. So this segment is pretty basic. We just hold W basically to get from segment to segment here.
Also say hello to the folks, how to do fellow collectors, Kelly Chambers, as I like to say. They're just sitting there vibing since we kind of skipped some of the dialogue.
Activating emergency H.
Yeah, like things do not play out as they are supposed to be because we were skipping dialogue so fast.
I think this is like a movie that doesn't intentionally get skipped because...
Yeah, so the speedrun mod does not actually take out this load screen because for whatever reason, if we try to replace this movie file right here with another one, then the game just crashes or slop locks, so we can't skip it, unfortunately.
Also, fun fact, if you go the opposite way and not go the way the light suggests you can and get to here faster. Like, normally you'd have to wait for the scions to take people away, but if we take this little hidden way, we don't need to wait for anyone.
Yeah, it's kind of funny right there. I feel like the devs kind of left it in intentionally. Like, there's like a little side path there that, like, if you take it, you just don't have to wait for the collector patrol before you advance.
Hostiles are returning. Your purge is complete. No other life forms on.
But yeah, what's been going on here is that like we have to like basically unleash Edie, who is our ship AI, so that she can fully control the ship.
Yeah, she basically becomes unshackled. It's definitely not going to be a huge plot point in the future games. But basically, they saved the ship. Unfortunately, we have to go rescue the crew. So the reason why, casually, it's not great to do this so early is because you have a time limit on missions that you can do before your crewmate starts dying. You can do, like, 1 mission for free before your crewmates start dying. But after that, like some of your crew just like starts dying until it's like, I think it takes like 3 missions after that for everyone to die. Eventually, I'm gonna grab a backup here. I'm gonna grab a.
That's basically the reason we refer to Reaper IFF as kind of a soft point of no return, because it starts that timer where you basically are pressured into starting the suicide mission, which we're gonna do right here, actually.
Yeah, we are all prepared for reals. Since this is all loyalty missions, everyone's got their problems solved or issues solved, and we're all happy campers. Gonna wait here a second.
Destination shuttle.
And now we're gonna start a whole bunch of cutscenes here. So basically what this game is doing is kind of doing a check for each upgrade. If you don't have a certain upgrade, certain people die. It kind of, for each upgrade that you miss, like certain people will die. So if you don't get the upgrade for Jacob, Jack will always be the one to die. If you don't get like I think the tally upgrade or something, I don't forget which, but if you don't get the tally upgrade, it's Kazumi or Tally that dies. I don't know, there's a long complicated process.
It's actually very, very complicated because like there's like basically like a long list of prioritization on who dies for each of the 2 ship parts that are not Jacob's ship parts, which for whatever reason always kills Jack. But yeah, like a very long list of potential squad mates who could die, and like Kasumi, who is at the bottom, will like kind of go to the top of the bottom of the priority list if she's loyal but someone else isn't. It's actually kind of complicated, but we're not going to see any of that.
Yeah, this is the happy ending, aside from not doing a DLC and other random missions. So everyone lives. We're all happy campers, except for Samara. So this is the Oculus boss. This is a pretty easy fight here. Just basically have to damage it a bit before it goes away. Very straightforward here. And then we're just gonna bring out Arcane here.
Yeah, basically a boss that's fought. Yeah, the boss is fought in like 2 phases. This first phase, we just do enough damage to it, and then it just immediately leaves. And then the second phase, where we actually fight it, the game is going to do another check right here to see if we have the Tali ship part, which we do. So, little fun fact, by the way, it is actually faster to have all the ship parts than not having the ship parts. I think you save like 20 seconds on this entire segment if you don't have to watch anyone die.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't get to see the Mako. Mako is Mass Effect 1 only. The Mako's replacement is the Hammerhead missions, and those are also very fun missions to do if you do all mission screens, which is basically our quote-unquote 100% category.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're just gonna fix our problems with the cane here. Just like that. So basically, we routed the Oculus thingy-majigger that was attacking us, and we're gonna do the final upgrade check here.
See if you can find a place to land without drawing attention.
Yeah, this is the one for the Garrus upgrade, I think.
Looks like you're sending out
a
to greet us.
Fire the main gun.
How do you like that, you sons of bitches?
And any percent, you get to see Garrus and Kazumi die, and it's very unfortunate, especially Garrus's death.
Yeah, because it's like so anticlimactic. It's just like, oh, they got Garrus, and then the game just goes on like nothing happened. It's kind of disrespectful.
And poor Garrus, but that's what happens when you speedrun at any percent.
Multiple core systems over.
You kind of get used to it, like if you speedrun it, but I know a lot of people are very attached to characters, especially in Mass Effect, so it can be hard for some people to speedrun like any percent categories where people die.
Yeah, you just get used to it. You become kind of numb to all the tragedy in any percent once you run it long enough.
Gather everyone else in the briefing room. We need a plan.
Alrighty, so we gotta basically pick people very carefully for this mission. So essentially we need a tech specialist and a leader specialist. So for tech you can pick Tali, Legion, or Kazumi. For leadership you can pick Miranda, Garrus, or Jacob. We picked Tali for this tech stuff here because she's the first person.
Yeah, and then we're going to choose Garrus for our leader just because he's near the select squad member button. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't pick Miranda there because she's still useful for this mission.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn on autosave here to allude to later, so there's some mechanic. So we can turn on autosaves here because the game automatically refills all your ammo after like each major part of the suicide mission.
Second team, are you in position?
And I do believe there's also like no good skips because this mission, like the collector skip, the collector. Oh, I did this the wrong way. Oh well, that's fine.
This part of the mission is basically all just horizontal movement, so there's not really any skip that helps us here. There is kind of a little thing to mention here right there. So you're supposed to press all these valves to keep your tech specialist alive as you're moving from like throughout the area. As you see, we have like a little meter on the bottom right tracking it. However, we can just skip all that. So long as we get to the final valve, it'll just trigger the end of the segment right here.
Yeah, it's supposed to kind of like buy you time, but since we're running past all the enemies, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because of charge, we're always able to make it in time, basically, to save our tech specialist.
You have like 15 or 14 seconds left if you don't press any valves.
So yeah, it's going to be right here, right after this final collector. We charge right here. It's going to end the segment. Nice.
And then so here we pick Jack as our biotic specialist. We're going to pick Garrus again, and then we're going to pick Tally to escort the crew back since she's the first person. And again, we're going to pick Morden and Miranda. And this is the section is mostly auto scrollers except for the end, but there's a very cool trick that we're going to be doing with Reeve here at the end.
Yeah. So this is basically an auto scroller where this biotic specialist has to hold up this biotic bubble to walk us through this cave filled with this swarm that will just kill us if we leave the bubble at all. The character holding the bubble will be keen to remind you that you are leaving the barrier if you leave the barrier, so we don't want to do that. You don't die immediately though, which is very, very useful for the skip coming up.
Yeah. Well, we basically kind of, mostly follow instructions, but not really.
Yeah.
But this is very auto-scrollery here. It's not too bad. So I'm just basically gonna go a little bit ahead and kill these unfriendly neighborhood collector enemies here. I'm gonna take out the cane.
All right, so as you see, we're gonna be using the cane for this upcoming part right here. So due to how the game, after this segment right here, the game is going to immediately give us a refill. Thus, it doesn't really matter that we have the autosave active, the autosave bug active anymore. So we just turn it on because it's going to be useful for a fight later. And yeah, we're just going to be dealing with a couple more enemies right here. So very quick thing to note, there is actually a way to get all the way to this segment, the end of this segment right here, by leaving the bubble, so you don't actually have to keep following the bubble holder. You can just run directly to the end. You can abuse Reeve basically in kiting these husks to get you all the way to the end. However, if you don't interact with the bubble holder at every single stop that they do, then the game will just soft lock when you get to the end. So unfortunately, we cannot skip this segment entirely, which is a very big shame. Otherwise, we could probably save a lot of time. But yeah, one of the few missions in the game that has a very stringent progress flag that you need to follow, or else you will bug your game out.
Yeah, so for the biotic specialist, it can only be Jack or Samara / Morin that can do this.
Yeah, that's.
I think some people are mistaken with Miranda, but it kind of the story kind of alludes to it a little bit. But Miranda's more a jack of all trades, aside from being a really good leader.
Yeah, that's often the biggest misunderstanding. Everyone thinks Miranda can do this bubble part, but she actually can't.
Zayed is the second big misunderstanding, since at least to be chosen as a leader.
Nice shooting.
Yeah, so this there's a little bit of variance in this last kind of quote unquote auto scroller based on the enemies that spawn. Sometimes the spawns can be weird, and you lose some time here. So there's only the Scion that we have to take care of here. And then we just basically... Hello?
Yeah, this Scion dies very fast in this category just because we have the AR upgrades along with the penetration upgrade for the AR that just annihilates armored enemies. In any percent and no one left behind, though, that Scion is such an annoying enemy to deal with.
I have no spawns on the right side. That's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, this part's a little bit... Oh, I think you... Wait, is there an enemy alive over there?
Yeah, but I think it's really weird because sometimes it just sits there awkwardly. pretty much.
Yeah, like that segment with the husks is really, really weird and kind of inconsistent. You could actually lose quite a bit of time because the husk will just like keep spawning there and the segment won't end. But yeah, here we go.
Already so. You just gotta believe.
So right here, Sanjan is going to Reeve one of these husks that come up, and we're going to be abusing Reeve here, which is going to keep giving us life and giving us iframes, essentially, to run directly to the end here, so we can skip that last portion right there. Pretty nice.
And then now we're off to the little final segments of the mission. Again, we picked Morden and Miranda because we like the M&Ms here.
Yeah.
The only the main thing that will be different is No One Left Behind, where you get the Jacob and Jack. They're calling the J&Js. They're on the big budget.
Yeah, the 99-cent store M&M, unfortunately. But yeah, this last segment is another auto-scroller like the previous segment, where we just have to kill all the collectors that are on these flying platforms as they come in. Ideally, we just want to kill all the enemies on the platform before the platform kind of just settles down.
Yeah, you can kill a lot of them before the thing fully goes down.
Also, just a word of warning, we are coming up on time, so just get ready on that. It'll be coming up
nice
after this
ammo.
segment. We have a boss fight, so yeah.
Gonna shoot these friendly neighborhood gamers here.
So yeah, something a little bit optimized we could do right here is we can actually just leave Harbinger at like 1 HP, because there can only be one Harbinger out at a time. So if we just get the Harbinger enemy to like 1 HP, we don't kill him, and we just kill all the other enemies first and then kill Harbinger, so that Harbinger doesn't keep possessing new collectors to basically just stall for time.
So this is probably the most annoying part, because there's these two Scions here. Like I said, they're extremely tanky. And we're going to be almost at the end. So the difference between all loyalty missions and No One Left Behind is that No One Left Behind doesn't recruit all squad mates. You basically do the minimum amount required to save everyone.
Yeah, it's
basically everyone that's in the team.
Yeah, it's basically just any % good ending, if that makes any sense.
Also, it's a Reaper. It's a human Reaper.
That's a Terminator, though.
I'm a Pokemon speedrunner at heart, so I would call this a Gigantamax Husk. They basically grabbed a human as a Pokemon and Gigantamaxed it. It's like Pokemon turned really dark. So yeah, a little allude to what we have to do.
So yeah, time will be coming up when we kill this boss, by the way. It's going to be broken up into 2 phases right here. This is the first phase. We just need to deal with these 4 tubes that are holding the Reaper up. First, we got to deal with these collectors right here before we can damage the tubes. Nice.
Cool story, Harbinger.
So we're actually going to be using the attack menu right here to shoot down these 4 tubes at the same time in very fast succession. Nice.
I'm gonna whip out the cane here. The final big bang.
Gotta be loading it off.
So this is like this is a big plot point. We just gonna say no. Beat the base.
And
so yeah, like with the Reaper, or like with the Thresher here, we save a load to weaken the human Reaper, and time's coming up very soon here. A couple abilities and time.
Amazing. Awesome. Great work, Sanjan.
GG's.
Yeah, that's a mostly pretty smooth run. We didn't crash on the Kazumi. That's like literally the most important part.
Yeah.
And so we're treated to this like pretty long ending, but we have saved everyone and we did everyone's loyalty mission, so that wasn't too bad. Pretty solid run overall. So I'd like to thank Mike for commentating for me, especially. This run for me takes a lot of focus. It's just really fast paced and there's a lot to explain. Thankfully, it's a sort of longer category, so we can get to everything, but really huge thanks to Mike for commentating.
Yeah, more than happy to.
He's a really, really good Mass Effect 2 runner. I learned a lot just like watching him and learning through his tutorials. So yeah, he also streams Mass Effect 2 and 1 as well. I actually started with Mass Effect 1, but I learned Mass Effect 2 as well. But also give a shout out to the BioWare speedrunning community, especially the glitch hunters, Lufix and Strife, and then some of the more new recent runners like Demonic Robots, who very new but helped find some of the optimizations used in most categories. So shout outs to him as well. Other than that, do you have anything, Mike?
No, really. Just thank you for having me for commentary. I love commentating this game. One of my all-time favorite games and one of my favorite speedruns. Just super, super fun. A lot to talk about.
Yeah, I guess if you're interested in finding me, I'm on twitch.tv/Sanjun_. And I actually won't be coming back weirdly to Mass Effect for a little bit because I'll be running Pokemon Omega Ruby versus Alpha Sapphire, who fellow Hotfix showrunner Korame is running in Frame Fatale. So yeah, I know it's weird. I speedrun Pokemon and Mass Effect. It's a strange combination of games, but yeah, I'll be focusing my efforts on just getting the Pokemon run ready for Frame Fatale, which is in late August. Our run will be on August 27th. So if you love She is Speed with women runners, you're gonna love Frame Fatales as well. I promise you. It's a really great organization. There's a lot of really cool people, and that's it on my side. I don't know if you have anything else, Lena.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sanjin. I appreciate having you here on the show, and thanks, Mike, as well, for your incredible commentary. That was great. So we're just going to be heading to a short break right after this. Stick around because we'll be rating out as always. And like Sanjin was saying, Frame Fatales is having its next all-women speedrunning event, Flame Fatales, from August 21st to 27th. You'll see both of the runners that we had on tonight running some fun games there as well. So make sure to type !FF in Twitch chat or go to gamesdonequick.com/Frame Fatales for more info. So don't worry, the speedrunning never stops here. You'll see stuff every single day and more at the big events. So yeah, enjoy. We're going to take a quick break here. Thank you so much, Sanjin, again, for your incredible run. We'll catch you right after this break for a raid. My name is Lana Roos, and this was She is Speed. Have a good night, everybody.